microphone out off the stand. What with it? Hold it? Yeah. I'm sorry, peasant. I know, you look like a rock star. Whatever. Still working on it. Sorry. Boom. Oh.
It's Tuesday night.
Nope.
Nope.
Sure isn't.
Nope. It's Tuesday. Is it Tuesday night?
I don't
Check.
think it's Tuesday.
I think
If
it is.
we
Is
can't.
it 8 p.m.?
10
It is 8 p.m. Do you guys not hear anything?
No.
No.
That's weird. Well, I did test these. Let's we are going out, so I have no idea why we aren't. You see, the levels are going.
It's Tuesday night.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
Oh, there it is. Ooh. Ooh.
Well,
You had to
Oh.
God. It's
No,
Tuesday night.
it's too,
No,
it's
it's
too loud.
gone away
I'd say,
forever.
I don't, dude.
Aw.
It was working earlier. I don't know, but I mean, we've got levels going out, so we can hear each
So
other.
there's really no point in wearing headphones. Is that what you're saying?
Not yet. You guys can talk.
Tuesday night. It's 8
Are we
p.m.
gonna hear Greg?
We should.
It's time for Popped.
There we
All
go.
right.
Oh my
okay.
gosh! Another.
I don't know what's going on. We're good in the
goddamn.
headphones. We're back in the headphones.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, I can't get back on my head.
So,
I can't get on my big head.
You got a big giant head.
Keith,
That's why.
I can't put my head. I can't hold my mic and put it on the big
Well,
head.
maybe,
Oh, it's
just maybe, you should get a mic that isn't attached to a small little stand.
Nah, because I could do this.
And
I
what?
look
Sing
like
Hendrix?
Elvis.
Sing Hendrix? Sing
When have you ever
Sing
seen-
Stones?
When have you ever seen Hendrix with a mic stand?
All right.
Challenge accepted.
Steven Tyler
know.
with
I don't know
the
if this is-
scarves.
Well, he's got
Wrap
those
around him?
scarves. He doesn't have anything else to do in the band but sing. That's all he has to do. He doesn't want to miss a thing.
All right.
Steven Tyler. That's a
That's the Aerosmith song you're going to reference. That one. Really. Out of all of Aerosmith's bitchin' collection, you
Okay,
pick
fine.
Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
quote. Well, I guess I'm crazy.
Well, yeah.
That's better.
Is it?
Better than Don't Want to Miss. Better than a song that was made for a Liv Tyler and Ben
Yes.
Affleck movie.
One of the best movies that has ever been made. I don't know if you guys have seen it all the way through. Maybe that's why you're so critical about it. They save us all at the end of the movie. I just blew it for you. I feel bad. You know what? Yeah, you should have seen it. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Spoilers. Way to spoil a 25-year-old movie for
Yeah,
me.
No
Matt,
way. Is it
jeez.
25 years old now?
I don't know. It's probably closer to 50.
It's probably a good 20 though, right? 1998.
Let me see.
Yeah, pull it up on the computer machine.
I feel like The
there.
Rock was 96.
1998. So almost
20 years.
20 years.
19 years ago, we were saved by a little guy called Ben Affleck. He's just a little guy.
Now he's Batman.
Now he's Batman. I can't think of a better Batman than a man who saved us from a meteor attack.
A Batman who
Yeah,
attacked
but to
Spider-Man?
be fair, though, he also almost ended the Earth and blinked the Earth into nothingness.
It's true. Him
He
and Matt
was-
Damon.
Yeah, remember.
I literally
Dogma?
live tweeted
Yes.
the movie like a few weeks ago.
Is it Dogma?
Yes.
Yes.
sister,
I
yeah.
feel like I've seen Dogma a lot of times. I feel, have you guys, so you guys went back and watched Dogma?
Yeah, I live
Yeah.
tweeted it a while
You know
back.
What's really
Then
weird?
we fell asleep at the end.
Like back then when those movies were coming out, like back when like Mallrats was out and like Chasing Amy, I remember I had to come on this side of the water to actually see Chasing Amy. No, that's not true. Those movies are so important to me, and now I don't know if it was Tusk or Time. I don't know. I don't watch them as much anymore.
Well, I mean, there are new movies
feel
that are
bad.
coming out, and you're
It's true,
enjoying
I
those
don't have
movies.
time. I don't have
exactly.
time to just watch the same thing over and over again unless it features animated ducks.
Oh, it's so good. I'm on viewing number 6 right now. It's literally on the screen behind us here, ready to
So,
roll.
Do I even have to ask what you guys did in pop culture this week?
Yes. You have to ask
You
because that's how
should.
the show goes.
Yeah, it's also valid. This is why she's here.
Pull
To
the
keep...
curtain back. I don't want everybody to know how the show works.
Okay.
Hey,
It's a secret.
what'd you guys do in pop culture?
We're not really all that interested in pop culture.
Show's over. See
Thanks,
you
guys.
next week.
Let's see. We watched The Founder.
We did.
That was fun. Bought it on iTunes, then found out it was on Netflix. Thanks.
Why it was so cheap on
That's
iTunes.
why I thought you had seen it.
No, it was cheap on iTunes. I was like, sweet. I went through and bought like a bunch of movies and a few TV shows that were on for cheap. And so we
I know.
And
finally
they're
watched it.
all on Netflix.
Yeah, and well, not all of them, but
So what'd
you know,
you
good.
what'd you think? What'd you guys think about The Founder?
It was really good.
It made me a little horrified about American capitalism, but
Yeah,
It didn't-
fantastic, wasn't it?
Didn't surprise me.
didn't surprise me either. But what a d-bag.
Craig Kroc is one of the worst people ever.
Yeah,
Everything I've read about that guy is just terrible. The fact that he bought the land that the
McDonald's was on.
McDonald's were on, like that's where they. That's just crazy.
But look how much money he made.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but so do peddlers of blood diamonds. Just saying.
yeah, that's
Not
a
as
fair point.
tasty.
It's true.
Know how many blood diamonds you've eaten in a burger?
I don't know. How many have you eaten?
One.
Was it tasty?
No.
It really hurt coming out
Tasted
too. I'm
like-
sure.
Tastes like oppression.
Let's see, what else have we done in pop culture? I played Horizon Zero Dawn, borrowed it from Miles,
I've also played
friend
that.
of the show. I enjoy it. It's kind of, it's a little different.
had
Third
enough
person. It's yeah. I mean, I've only gotten like 2 hours into it, but so far it's pretty fun. I like where it's going.
It was
So the
Heidi's
thing
favorite
about
game.
Horizon Zero Dawn, what are we calling it? Caveman robot shooty?
Caveman Robot Wars.
Caveman robot wars. Is that
acceptable.
It's fitting.
the like menu screen where you pick your like staff or whatever? It sounds like the PlayStation like loading screen. So every time he would like pause throughout the game, I thought the PlayStation kept crashing, and I'm thinking, God, we got to get a new one of those because it keeps dying because it sounded like he had to keep rebooting it.
Yeah.
But thankfully it didn't.
No, still probably going. The PS4, fantastically built machine. Really resilient.
Don't jinx it.
keep
God, I hope
expecting
you're not
it to break.
jinxing it.
You know what? I think it is. I think it's the fact that and my PS3 was always well built.
My PS3
P-
crapped
my
out on me. I
PS4
had to buy 2 of them.
Well, I guess I'm coming from like the 360 that had a 98%.
Never played I've played an Xbox, but never owned an Xbox.
It had a 98% failure rate of the first the first batch of machines.
No, fun.
98% of them failed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
God,
Mine
that's-
failed the week that Grand Theft Auto 4 came out.
Well, that's inconvenient.
Yeah.
I tried playing that. I didn't like that much. I got bored with it.
Did you play 5?
Yeah, so 5 I loved.
Oh,
I
love
beat
5.
that.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that
5
was.
is 5 is
Probably
great.
one-
I can't wait for 6.
That's probably better than Vice City if you ask me. And I really enjoyed Vice.
I think 5 is the best they've
Yeah.
ever done. I think it's their cheap. Weird things will happen too. I saw cops surround a fire truck
Okay.
and then pull the driver out. It was a black man. And eventually shoot him.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure you weren't watching the news?
No, that's what's crazy. Somebody did there's a video that did it. I think it might be I forget who did it, but they actually they didn't accuse them of putting actual racism in the game or making the cops racist, but they said that they suggested it.
Yeah.
Well, they went in and they actually tested it, and it turned out that the biggest I thought I was just passing out.
No.
The
no.
lights just flickered. The cops
blow a fuse.
were the most aggressive towards Trevor.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
meth addled
Right. The crazy guy.
Yeah, whenever he went to a nice neighborhood.
Interesting.
But
I mean,
they,
that makes sense.
There were solid findings that that the cops actually treat people differently depending on who they are. Like Michael had no problem in Beverly Hills, and
Yeah. Michael
really,
didn't have
really
a problem
interesting.
anywhere, honestly, that I can think of. Did he?
Game.
So good.
No, but they're actually more aggressive. They're more likely to shoot like Trevor or the other guy. I remember his name.
Trevor.
Trevor, Michael, and
Joe,
No. Crap.
George, Harry, Ron,
Trevor, Michael.
course.
Hagrid,
of course he's the one. who
Albus.
the name of.
Malfoy.
Great game though.
Yeah. No, it really is. I enjoyed it. I haven't gone back and done everything on it. I just did play the main quest, and that's about as much time as I had, time for.
Sarah,
Yes.
what'd you do besides watch The Founder?
I watched The Founder. I don't know. Since Glow finished and now I'm in a show hole, I've been watching Parks and Rec on the treadmill. I've been rewatching Parks and
It's a
Rec.
good,
I do
it's a
30
good
Rock.
choice.
I follow Aubrey Plaza on Instagram, speaking of Parks and Rec, and I want to see her new movie, Ingrid Goes West. And I don't know if it's playing anywhere around here, but it's about a young woman who like becomes obsessed with people online, like on Instagram and apps and whatever, and follows these people and kind of like strikes up friendships with them and then like expects for it to translate into real life. And, it like doesn't. It translates into like creepy stalker.
That sounds fantastic.
I know. And
see this
Aubrey
now.
Plaza, it's funny because she always sort of, I don't know, I haven't seen her in anything really besides Parks and Rec. She did that,
She was in Safety Not Guaranteed. She was in Scott Pilgrim.
She was in the
she was
Funny
in
People?
she was in that movie, Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates,
Oh, yeah, that one.
and I hadn't seen
Did you
that.
make it through?
No, I didn't watch it. I didn't even start it. Is it good? Well, I always feel like she sort of plays that, sarcastic, snarky, like I feel like
she plays on
I feel like
She's been typecast, actually.
well,
at
no,
this
I think
point.
she has. So I'm kind of interested to see how she does with this because it's like Matthew Perry plays everything as Chandler Bing, playing
Yes.
that guy. So
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about Aubrey Plaza everything being April. But I don't know. I mean, I can't see her being snarky and sarcastic and mean in this role necessarily because so much of it has to do with like her seeking approval. So
I wish she would. I really wish she'd branch out.
well, maybe this is her opportunity. I mean, you got to think
I'm into it.
there's a lot of actors who get pigeonholed into, into their where they excel.
Daniel
And
Day-Lewis.
okay, also Robin Williams and Will Ferrell, but they each branched out in their own weird ways, and some of them were more successful than others. Jim Carrey tried, and I mean,
Majestic was
Truman
Majestic
Show.
was good.
Majestic
I enjoyed Majestic.
Majestic was a
Truman
movie.
Show was good.
I didn't make it through Majestic.
And the music, I like the music, so
It was good. I mean, it was watchable. It wasn't his best work.
Yeah.
Truman Show was good.
Yeah, Truman Show was good.
Truman Show's really good.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh,
One of the
yeah.
best movies
Okay,
ever made.
that one wins.
Yeah.
All right.
Good point.
I mean, he did
Yeah.
all right
Okay.
for himself.
So okay.
I don't like his comedies.
We watched The Mask.
Yeah, we watched The Mask the other
Does it
day.
hold up?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of does actually.
I like The Mask.
Mask was good. I want to go back and watch Ace Ventura, Liar Liar.
I tried to go back and watch Ace Ventura.
Oh
Really.
yeah, I wouldn't mind watching Liar Liar again.
Dumb and Dumber's always
I
gonna
did
live
not
up.
like Liar Liar. Oh man, Dumb and Dumber is good.
It's always gonna hold up for me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So Matt, I have a question about this week in pop culture and what you did. How many times have you watched DuckTales so far?
I watched it several times.
How many? Several.
I just kind of let it go while I was cleaning up.
Yeah.
So I was cleaning my house all weekend, and I
It was on the hour, every hour.
all the time,
It was great. I watched it 4 times on Saturday.
too many times.
My sister came over. We were playing video games. I was like, "Oh, wait, 8 o'clock. Time to make you watch DuckTales."
Woohoo.
And she sat through the whole thing and watched it. It was fun.
So good.
And then I watched it a 5th time because it's now on YouTube. And I've now watched it. I'm starting on my 6th time.
It's true. We did watch it that many times.
Did you like
Well,
the
no.
Dutch
So,
DuckTales?
oh yeah, it was great.
What about the Dutch Tales?
What?
It was a bad weekend for that to debut. Trust me. No, I went to a class on Saturday morning, so I walked out in the first round of viewing, and then came back in on the third round of viewing.
Yeah.
And
I watched it a 2nd time while you were gone. Went and worked on some stuff, and then came back and started it a 3rd time. And that's when about the same time you came in.
I think that's smart.
So yeah, I watched it. It was great. I thought it was well written and well acted, and the humor was awesome. And
fun.
yeah,
It's fun. I wasn't looking forward to it as much as Keith. But I'm glad because I was like totally taken aback by how good it was.
Yeah, it was really smart writing too.
It reminds
Jokes
me
were
how
great.
much I miss DuckTales.
Well, the original 80s DuckTales wasn't this good.
It was not that good.
I
no.
mean, the
was-
triplets
it
were
was good.
interchangeable and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was good. I like DuckTales.
Yeah, I mean, it gave this. I mean, kind of what I mean. It's the baseline for this show, so
Yeah.
it's. But they've taken out Duckworth. They've given they've given him more character and more depth.
I was kind of shocked that Glomgold was in it.
Oh, I thought he was great.
I'm shocked that I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was just expecting it to be a complete reboot that just kind of ignores the original story.
He's the favorite richest Scottish duck because he wears
He's
a
so
kilt.
rich, so Scottish. He's the one wearing the kilt, McDuck. A kilt.
It's
true.
Oh, it's so good.
so have you memorized it yet?
Almost.
Yeah, he's getting there.
Do you mean garage? This is going to sound sad, but it took me the second viewing to realize how hilarious the I'm a pilot joke was.
That was my favorite thing immediately. That's why it was I think that was the first thing I texted.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
one of my favorite things immediately too.
I'm a pilot.
Yeah.
He was doing it was so good because the
Why is
timing was so
Launchpad?
good.
Then when could Launchpad fly?
I'm a pilot.
His plane was inconspicuously designed, very similar to Baloo's plane. I can't remember the name of it right now, but the big old yellow
The
thing.
tailspin.
No, that's not what it was called.
Yeah. Doot.
But they did mention Cape Suzette, where they are from where the Tailspin is set. They also mentioned Spoonerville, where Goof Troop is, and they also mentioned St. Canard, where Darkwing Duck is. And Darkwing Duck is having a cameo in this season. Or I think so. Yeah, in this season. They
That's
mentioned-
not fair.
Why not?
Sea Duck.
Because if you're gonna give us a
Sea Duck,
cameo,
thank you.
the Sea Duck, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I said.
That's what he said.
The tailspin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be teased with Darkwing Duck. I want to full on just give me a Darkwing Duck.
Oh
show.
yeah, I agree. They really need to just make a full on Darkwing Duck cartoon, and they're going to.
I noticed what's his name was in it too. What was the
Powerline?
No. If you looked at the intro, it was what was it, like Gadget Gear Duck?
Oh yeah,
or
Gyro Gear Loose.
yeah.
Yeah,
He was in. There was a brief shot of
The
him. And I was like,
produce-
oh look, I know this.
The producers have said that they're actually going to try to get to most of the characters, if not all of them, from the old cartoon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to get, and actually, Fenton Fenwick, who is the alter ego for Gizmo Duck, is going to be voiced by Lin-Manuel Miranda. No, wait, whatever.
Real?
Yeah, for real.
I love him.
And they've got the dean from Community, Jim Rash. He's voicing Gyro Gear Loose.
I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I wasn't in for this whole reboot. I was like, oh, great, another reboot. Okay, whatever. Disney's trying to cash in.
Animation is great. I like that they go stylish with these things.
Then they released that voice cast, and I was like, oh, they're putting everything into this shit.
And then we watched it 8 million times. That song,
well written,
that
though.
song has been stuck in my head for like
What song
months?
is that?
No, it's
Boom, 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 boom,
It's all just- it's part of my life now. It's DNA.
So great. But yeah, no, the animation, they were actually a big fan of the Carl Banks comics. Because, the Uncle Scrooge, Donald Duck, they were all doing adventures in comics, and the triplets. That was all well established before the original Ducktoon cartoon came out.
How awesome is it that they threw Donald in it?
I actually think it's going to be a nice little addition to the show.
And his little black sailor outfit.
I liked at the beginning how they threw out his old one.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I love the fact that Donald's going to be in it more.
Yeah, I'm all.
I do
obviously
too,
love it. It's gonna
and
be
because
fun.
I like those original 5. And
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's gonna be nice to tie. I like that they kept his personality in. He still lost his cool. He was still throwing a fit, and it's hilarious. But like the animation and stuff, you can tell if you look back in the background, because this is how many times I've watched it now. You can see they've pixelated the backgrounds. Like if you look and it's not all of them, but in some of them they'll actually pixelate the background, and then some of them they don't color in the lines exactly. They kind of bleed past the hard lines of the background, like you would see in comics sometimes, like the old Disney comics. So, I'm in. But see, what I don't get is the scheduling. They aired this 2-episode 1 hour special,
And then it doesn't start until the 21st?
23rd of September.
23rd of September?
Yeah, to coincide with the 30th initial airing of the original show.
Okay.
I know, it's
I don't wanna
kinda-
wait that long.
kind of sad.
I thought it
I'm
just
about to
had to
watch
wait.
that
I thought it
pilot
was
so
like
much.
I thought it was like the 21st. I thought it was like in 2 weeks.
I'm a pilot.
I'm a pilot.
What a surprisingly insightful death trap.
Oh, new metaphor for our relationship, by the way. There's not anybody else in the world I could say that to, but I was like, Keith, we're getting married. This is a very insightful death trap.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like,
be
all
part
right.
of your vows.
God.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
I liked how actually, David Tennant gets to be full on Scottish, and he's actually a bit of the doctor in this show, I think. I'm okay with that. That's what the scene came from. That's what made me think of it.
Dr. Scrooge McDuck?
Yes, Dr. McDuck. What'd you think of the cliffhanger? Because, spoilers, there's a cliffhanger. Turn it down for like 2 minutes. The cliffhanger with their mother.
Oh, yeah. I didn't look at it as a cliffhanger.
Well, yeah.
I'm just more of a seeding a storyline.
Setting in for the full-on.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Not really foreshadowing, but just kind of
Where they're taking the story.
stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a thing that they are doing.
I hope it is good.
Well, it got me into the whole family tree. Like, I started going through, okay, their mom's
That
Della
is true.
Duck, and like I just went into this whole the artist I mentioned earlier, Carl Banks, he actually drew out a Duck, McDuck, Gander family tree for all these duck families and how they all intertwined.
Well, I think it's weird that I don't think it's weird. I think it's great that like we're at a point now where they take kids seriously.
Yeah, they don't
and
treat
they
them like
realize
idiots.
that like kids can follow storylines,
Right.
Because like when I was growing up, it's like whatever He-Man was not. There was nothing to He-Man.
No. G.I. Joe, Turtles.
Well, G.I. Joe was a little different because G.I. Joe would run like a storyline over like 5 episodes, so it'd be like every week it was like one big long story, like the Weather Dominator. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm getting into this. But it just seems like they've gotten way more. They know that kids are savvy.
Yeah.
They know that kids like quality stuff.
Right.
And if you don't talk down to them, you give them something that's well written, then they're gonna love it.
Yeah.
And I think that really started with like the SpongeBob's and other things.
Did SpongeBob? SpongeBob is when Nickelodeon lost me. Did SpongeBob get all that into the story?
They didn't do storylines like that, but they did. It was written well enough for adults, so the jokes were. You could watch it and be like, "This is funny."
Well, see, then I would go back and even say Angry Beavers did a little bit of that too.
I feel like Hey Arnold did too.
Yeah, and Doug.
I missed all that.
There were, I mean,
How'd you miss all that but see SpongeBob?
that's a really good question.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I know why. Because whenever that stuff was on, I was like when was
A
that?
moody
I was
teenager?
like late teens.
Yeah.
Early 20s. So
It was early 90s, so yeah. I kind of makes...
that was it early 90s? No.
1890s, if Matt was that young.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't early 90s.
Yeah, I think Doug, check it out. I think Doug was like mid 90s.
Was it part of the first Nicktoons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have. But no, I guess I was. I guess in the early 90s, I was like 15, 16.
First episode date, August 11, 1991.
Yeah.
So I was
And it moved to Disney and
So
then
you were
started
21,
to suck.
right?
15.
No, wait, you're 40 now.
I was 15 in 91.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, close enough.
Yeah, so
Math.
but I was watching Ren and Stimpy.
Which is all around that same time frame because my parents didn't want me watching Ren and Stimpy. They were fine with all the other stuff. They didn't want me watching Ren and Stimpy.
I mean, in their defense, Ren and Stimpy was really effing weird.
It was
Yeah,
weird,
guess
but
that's
I
why
mean,
watching it.
But I
okay,
don't know
but
if
let's
it was...
compare this with weirdness. I mean, don't get me wrong. We can go on about the art style of Ren and Stimpy, and yeah, that got really kind of like detailed and graphic at points.
No,
with
it
the
was
Bob,
all weird.
the Bob.
Pirates Toastman.
Okay, Adventure Time.
I love Adventure Time.
I know, but is it not weird? Is it not kind of like out there?
I guess.
And I'm going to tie that into something. Watching DuckTales so many times on Saturday, all the commercials that got repetitive, a lot of shows really have started to copy that and that Adventure Time kind of animation style.
Oh, yeah. They did.
Like Billy's Subterranean Summer Retreat and Star versus the Four. I didn't either. That's what I'm saying. I found all these things out during the...
No, I had to go to Disney XD. I don't think I've been to Disney XD in a long time.
I
feel
have
like
only for
might
Star
have-
Wars Rebels.
I don't know what I feel like there was something I used to watch. Oh, Wolverine and the X-Men.
Okay.
Was that
Was
on
that?
that?
No. That was Kids WB.
No.
WB Kids. Fox.
No, not the. There was a
Hold
new
on.
one. Wolverine and the X-Men was on XD, I think.
You sure about that? I think that was before. I think Wolverine and the X-Men
You're
was before.
thinking of X-Men Evolution.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking
I was
of. But
thinking of X-Men Evolution.
Wolverine. Yeah, see, this was.
We're grown men. We shouldn't be talking like this.
All right, Wolverine and the X-Men. Looking
This
this
is the
up.
XD, right?
Hold on, let's see here.
1945.
It was just regular. No, wait.
No.
Regular Disney? No, there it is. Nicktoons.
Oh, it was on the Nicktoons network, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
still, it
that
didn't-
was but it was right next to Disney XD.
Okay, so this is sort of a random
all
aside,
right.
but have you guys ever seen, remember Nickelodeon Studios where they would have all the crazy colors and the building was all weird looking?
Still
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but it's like a boring
slime.
effing office now.
Well, there was a
Times change.
I know, but it makes
Slime
me
runs
sad.
out.
there's a YouTuber I follow,
Uh-huh.
and he broke in.
Is it Dan Bell?
It's not Dan Bell.
Oh.
It's not Dan Bell. He broke it, not broke it. He found himself in and videotaped it. And like a lot of the stuff is all still kind of there, like the crazy walls and stuff.
I will say that the Cartoon Network floor of the Techwood building for Turner is exactly like you'd imagine. It's very bright. It's very colorful. There's giant stand-up cartoon characters everywhere. It's a really fun, like kid-like environment to work in. So that sort of answered that.
Did you ever go to the Adult Swim?
No,
Or
they
does it-
had their own weirdo little studio.
That's what I thought.
But
I bet it smells like socks.
it
to show
might,
your ID.
but like technically I could have when I worked for Turner. Because I was part of one of their like business resource groups, but they were so weirdly isolated that I almost was intimidated
They probably
to.
had to, all the drugs they had in there.
No, well,
They're doing a lot of drugs.
I gotta say, I don't
How many
know,
drugs you do at CNN?
0.
Okay,
Caffeine.
Just checking.
Yeah, a lot of caffeine.
What about I almost said Kathy Lewis. Sorry.
No, I
What
didn't.
about Nancy Grace? A lot of drugs?
Matt? All she did was Matt. That's the only drug.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my final answer.
Oh man.
That's it.
So, do you guys remember that thing that they were talking
You
about?
do? Yes.
There
Great
was
movie.
no, you're dead to me. There was a company that was gonna do like movie subscriptions, like pay $10 a month and see unlimited movies.
Yes.
Remember that? And
Because
we
I was gonna do it.
yeah, well, they're not doing that anymore because AMC the AMC theaters stopped them.
I thought it was gonna be edited. AMC was offering one of them. Huh.
It says, let's see, AMC Theaters wants to block MoviePass subscription service after price cut. So what happened was they dropped
so
it.
They were with them, and then they
Yeah.
price cut it. And
Yeah.
they were like, "No, we're AMC."
Well, I think at some point it's like how I feel about these subscription services online. Like people are going to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was talking with Jenny, another friend of the show, and it was like companies have gone, especially media companies. Okay, I'm not talking about original content shows. I'm talking about like cable companies
Sure.
and providers. It's gone from like provide the best service and people will stick around to provide the least worst service, and then they'll kind of have to go to us because everything is worse.
So, like,
That's
Time Warner Cable.
crazy.
Right. Like it's just
Or
be
Comcast.
slightly better than the ones that are worse than you so that you it's like
It's like the lion theory. You don't have to be super fast.
you just
to
have
get
to
away
be
from
faster than
a
the
lion.
you just have to be faster or than the one
than
line.
the slowest person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's messed up.
No, it's messed up, but it's absolutely true. We, and we'll talk more about this later when we talk about the, Netflix and the Disney and all that crazy stuff going on. But there's not like customer service and things that people feel that they need to have, but are essentially a luxury.
Sure.
Like cars, for example. How many crooked mechanics are out there? You just want to talk about cars?
No.
Or cable or internet, like you are invested in it because it's an entertainment thing and you see it as a release and a relaxation, but all it does is give them license to screw you.
I'll be honest. I was sitting here. I was thinking about just cutting some stuff, and I was looking at my streaming stuff. Like I don't watch Hulu at all. I haven't watched Hulu in months. Why am I keeping it? Like I feel like if I cancel or if I put it on hold, I'm
Something
gonna miss
awesome will come
something.
out. Well, We watch a fair amount of Hulu.
Yeah, we bounce back between. I mean, Netflix is good for the gym stuff. Hulu is stuff we'll watch at home, and then HBO is stuff we'll watch at home as too.
Do you know what?
we go through all of ours.
Do you know what I watch the most? YouTube.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, for some reason,
What are you
I've
watching on YouTube?
I'm watching YouTubers. Not like the kid YouTubers that's like, watch me put makeup on. But like I'm watching Dan Bell and I'm watching like Adam the Woo. Like I've got these people that I
Right.
watch, these vloggers that, a lot of park vloggers like the Tim Tracker and stuff. I watch these guys daily. They put a new video out daily. It's usually something interesting that I find interesting.
Okay.
I know it drives like Justin was like, I don't know why you watch. I watch a lot of Overwatch streamers.
Trying to pick up tips and tricks.
Well, I can't play.
Well, I mean, if it interests you,
I can't play it much on a regular basis. I played a lot this weekend because I needed some downtime. I needed to just be away from people, so I played a lot of Overwatch, and it just made me angry. But I'll watch streamers and like I'll put it up at work and I'll just listen to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it.
You
I
know
don't know
what
what's
I watch
happening.
on YouTube? I watch late night show monologues.
That's a good one.
I could not be less interested in watching any of these late night shows. I'm serious.
But you like the monologues?
No, except for John Oliver. I like John Oliver. I'll watch
Yeah.
that whole show. But I do not.
But that's only once a week, though, too, to be fair.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
only
a
once a
little-
week. I do not want to watch Seth Meyers' whole show. I do not want to watch Stephen Colbert's whole show. I do
like
not
a
want to
piece.
watch Jimmy Fallon's whole show. But I will watch pieces of it, and I will share the shit out of them. But I do not. I have no interest in making a date and watch. First of all, I'm asleep by 9:30. Who are we kidding?
There was something. Oh, I was watching Leslie Jones watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, I
Meyers.
saw that. Yeah.
Like I don't know why.
Well, like
Because it's just on YouTube.
it's really rare that there's a celebrity interview that I'm interested in.
Yeah. They're always horrible.
Like we watched David Tennant. We watched
Did you end up watching the David Tennant, Daniel Pudi, Ben Schwartz interview on ABC News?
I did not.
It's like a 20-minute interview on YouTube, and because I've been absorbing all this DuckTales stuff, that interview was hilarious. Those guys were like on point. They coordinated stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was pretty funny.
They had some pretty good improv chops.
And it was so funny because David Tennant, so everybody else like did their voice acting in California and they had like a nice studio.
Yeah.
And David Tennant essentially had like a closet with a microphone in it and they like
Where was he?
In
London.
London.
So they like printed off the logo and like stuck it to the wall with scotch tape.
And you don't realize it till you start like going back through because it's in the voice and the cast announcement video that they put out that Sarah loves, and if you go back and look through it, you're like, yeah, everyone but David Tennant has a nice LCD TV and has the DuckTales logo up there. You look at David Tennant's and it's literally an 8.5 by 11 with the logo taped up.
They can't get him
I
a decent-
know, but
It's
that
London,
he got
man.
to stay home though.
that's
Look
a good
at it
point.
that way. He didn't. His family's in London. He didn't
point.
travel.
Yeah, and he's probably filming Broadchurch,
Yeah.
and
And he's
Film
got
off.
what, like 17 children or something crazy?
Does he?
I think he's like 3.
I think he has 5. You know who?
5 is still not 17.
It's a lot. You know how many? Like Gordon Ramsay has a lot of kids too.
Yeah.
What is it with these like British guy? Well, okay, David Tennant's Scottish, but with like the hair, and then they reproduce and they have really hot wives.
What
what-
about the children?
Good
What,
on him.
what I'm saying is, David Tennant and Gordon Ramsay have some similarities. They're really nice to children too.
Has David Tennant ever called anybody a donkey?
He's got 4.
Probably.
He's got 4 kids.
Well, that's basically 17.
I
so
feel like that's not. I don't feel like that's not out of the realm of ordinary. How old is he?
17.
yes. No, 40 something, 46.
Oh, okay, that's not
He
too bad.
looks like he is
He
25.
looks good.
I mean,
for
he
his
looks
age.
like he's in his 30s, but yeah,
How did he look when you married, you guys?
happy,
He did. He was very happy for us.
super
he,
happy.
He was blessing of our pending nuptials.
Yes.
That's
upcoming.
crazy. That's like the best ever.
All
so
right.
jealous.
I'm not sure where Greg is, so do you guys want to move on to
Easy.
news?
We can do news. I've got
Cool.
news. Boop 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 boop.
Hold on.
I'm so excited.
We have a
Simmer
thing,
down.
Sarah.
All right, we have a thing.
Yeah, you can,
Oh, is it where this chick is reading like a Ukrainian
Ah.
newspaper?
hold on. Let's. Oh, no, I think that's just a spam call coming up because his number is in a 910.
That sounds like
Let's see.
Wilmington, North Carolina. Greensboro, North Carolina.
It's like popping up. Sorry, we're dealing with technical issues here. Apparently, the Skype is popping up a call, and it's. Let's see, and then but before I can even click answer.
I'm gonna guess it's Wilmington.
You think so?
Wilmington calling.
Let's
I say
see.
take it on air.
Well, I would if I could click it fast enough. Let's see. Southeastern North Carolina, Fayetteville, Jacksonville. Oh, Wilmington. There you go. Well done, sir.
Why did I know that?
I have no idea.
I've never even been to Wilmington.
Yeah.
Actually, I
right
know
there.
somebody in Wilmington who's kind of a fan of the show, but I don't think
Who?
he knows our number. John Lopez.
Ah, okay, no, I don't know.
Okay.
Fan
well,
of the show, John.
he's commented a few times, shared our stuff.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Sean, but that's
Sean.
cool.
Oh, Sean. Whatever.
So news.
All right. Yeah. Let's do some news here.
Publimenter.
I don't get any of my news from Publimenter.
I do realize you guys are talking over the video, right? Okay.
It's okay. Need some narration.
All right.
My sources.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
Just to answer it.
All right. Let's see what we got. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Who's this?
It's him.
is this Greg?
Can you hear this music in the background?
Did you just pick up and overhear our music? Was it? Oh, where are you?
Wilmington.
Are
Hang
you
on for a second.
are you calling from a payphone in Wilmington?
There's a payphone somewhere.
Hey, I've seen payphones in Chicago and Charleston now.
That's
so
true.
let's see
You
here.
think I would get this right eventually?
It's all right.
hope
We're
he's in a
glad.
phone booth.
We're glad
Making
to
a
have
phone
you.
call.
Yeah. Well, hold on, Greg. We're gonna play. Hold the phone away from your ear real quick because it's gonna get kind of loud
Okay.
from what I've noticed. But we've got you a music intro.
Oh my God.
It's actually got really cool video
I know
of your
we're
shop.
so fancy.
Publimenter.
It's not Publimenter.
Comics with Greg.
Yeah.
I think you wanted voiceover.
Do you feel like kind of a club vibe? Anybody want to go
I've been
drink like $15 martinis?
This is what I hear every time I go into Local Heroes.
I've been trying to get Greg to turn Local Heroes into a after hours club for
A
years.
discotheque?
Yes.
You told him to hold the phone away from his ear. He probably can't hear us.
Greg, you can bring the phone back up now.
It feels very age appropriate. Like it's not quite cool, which is very much how I would describe myself.
Well, we tried to tailor the music, that free music we got right to
Absolutely.
your taste there.
I
So
hope there's a really nerdy video to go along with it. That would be amazing.
It was your
There
shop.
It's your shop. That's the whole video is of your shop. So yeah.
Oh really? Wow. So then it is extra nerdy.
yeah, it was the shop. It was books. It was figures. Everything you can find in Local Heroes.
Greg, I don't know how to tell you this,
What?
but we're working with a theme here, and that theme is extra nerdy.
You know, I feel at home. It feels good.
Well, we're glad to have you, Greg. And what's coming out this week in comics, man?
This is a really big week.
Good.
For a couple of reasons. There's DC's doing their biggest event of the year, probably their biggest event in many years that I can remember. It's Metal, and the first issue comes out tomorrow. It's just called Dark Knight's Metal. It's written by Scott Snyder and drawn by Greg Capullo, who did the New 52 Batman run that is now very much a legendary piece of the DC Comics history. So there's no reason that this isn't going to be a really great book. I read the first one today. It's got a really kind of a gotcha ending, which was really cool. So the first issue really delivered.
Okay.
So that's by far the biggest book of the week.
Can you just spoil the ending right now?
No, don't do it.
I
Don't
could,
listen to him.
absolutely. I should, yeah.
But
It
then you
was
won't
in the
sell
Washington
books.
Post yesterday, so if you really
Was
want
it?
to have it spoiled for you, you can just read the
Way
paper.
to go, Washington Post.
We're trying to scoop
Yeah,
everybody.
I love it when they get the scoop like 2 days before the comic comes
Yeah.
out.
Jeez, jerks. What else we got?
Also tomorrow is another big book. Marvel's big book of the week is Generations Wolverine, which features Laura and Logan together.
No.
So that should be fun. Logan's been gone for a while, and if you saw the Old Man Logan movie, you know who Laura is. So hopefully this will be. It probably won't be anywhere near as good as the Logan movie, but hopefully it'll be a good comic by itself.
I'm still trying to figure out the Generations comic. I
Isn't
don't know.
Wolverine dead?
The main
He is dead.
the
Oh,
main
okay,
Wolverine.
wait. Is he dead or is he Nick Fury
They
dead?
covered him in adamantium dead.
Yeah, he's dead, but because of time travel, Old Man Logan from an alternate reality is in on main continuity.
So
now,
no, he's
so
not
yeah.
dead. Okay.
No,
that's
he
fine.
is dead.
No,
just
he's not.
He's dead.
He's dead. Just he's just a different version of him.
Alternate reality means not dead.
It's best if you just don't think about it because your head won't hurt so bad.
It's also
Yeah,
valid.
that's fair. No, whenever we watch a movie and someone dies, Greg, I have to ask Keith: is he dead, or Coulson dead?
Yeah.
There's no dead in comics.
We
True.
Even Bucky came back.
no, nobody.
right.
Nobody's dead because as long as they can keep making money for the franchise, they will live. And didn't Superman die like 14 times to make a big deal over that issue?
His death was
Also
really
in-
kind of the start of the end, the beginning of the end for this whole resurrection thing that they do in comics now.
Well, and then he died in the movie, and then like Harry Cavill like tweets a picture.
Henry Cavill.
Whatever. Tweeted a picture of himself in his like next suit, and we're like, well, guess he's okay.
He's okay.
Well, yeah, when they already have him on all the Justice League stuff, you know he's coming back.
So
That's-
Coulson dead.
yeah.
Jean Grey died 118 times.
Yeah, but her hair was too beautiful. She had to come back.
Fire.
Kind of took a
That's
tangent
a
there,
really
Greg.
good reason to come back.
Well,
Great hair.
if you have beautiful
Really,
hair,
I will never come back.
Bring her back.
Aw. But you've got that beard though. That's worthy of coming
that's
back.
true. Beards
It's
are.
nowhere near as sexy as yours. Sir,
Dude, I
so
had to.
please.
Yours was my model, so I had to base it on something, and I based it on yours. I just
should,
grow hair
flattered.
I just grow hair faster than you. That's my problem.
We should do a video where you guys just rub beards.
No.
Oh,
I'm
no. All right, if he's in, I'm in. I can't be the holdout.
So many views.
All right, what else we got, Greg?
I Am Hero tomorrow, which is a Japanese zombie comic. Imagine if Walking Dead wasn't boring as shit, and you would have a really good book, and this is it. So, if you feel like you're reading Walking Dead and then you ask yourself why, just pick up I Am Hero Volume 1, and then you'll be really excited.
Okay, I'm here.
It's so boring.
Speaking of
I forgot.
shit,
I stopped reading it
There's
until you
another
said something.
book. I'm sorry, go ahead. I forgot Matt's even alive or a real person.
I know. Well, because he never steps
talk
foot in
over
your
me.
fine establishment.
I do need to come in though because I got to pick up. I got to pick up that new Paper Girls trade.
Yeah,
trade.
sure you do.
Ooh. You cried. You
I've
cried.
missed having Greg on.
You cried comics one too many times there.
I'm in a
I had a nice
financial ruin.
segue before Matt stomped on
That
it.
is true. I did start on it.
Matt ruins lives.
Shut
Walking
up,
Dead was
Matt.
shit, and then I was going to say, speaking of shit, there's another book tomorrow that's Shit My President Says, which is a book of illustrated Donald Trump tweets, which is amazing, and it's about as good as it sounds. They takes all the tweets, or a select few tweets from the president, and he illustrates them. So if you're a fan or a non-fan, this is the book for you. It's for everybody. It's going to be
Hey.
huge.
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 You will get big Lee sales on that
Are
one.
you guys saying huge?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go with it, Matt.
Okay.
And lastly,
Keep
my
it
personal
politics.
favorite comic that's been gone forever, Southern Bastards, is back tomorrow with issue 16. So if you've been missing it as much as I have, tomorrow is your lucky day 'cause it's back.
Awesome.
And that's it. That's what I got.
Rock and roll. Well, Greg, where can they pick up these fine comics?
If you're in Norfolk, Virginia, you can come to Local Heroes. It's clean, and we
clean.
use
Very clean.
Windex, and we have a vacuum.
And deodorant.
So,
You guys wear deodorant too.
Yeah,
you guys
sure.
always smell very
You
nice.
know what? Yeah, it never stinks in that shop.
Yeah.
There you go. Local Heroes. It never stinks.
yeah, it never smells like shit. And 1905 Colonial Avenue. If you're not in Norfolk, you can go to my comicshoplocator.com, and you can find a comic store near you that may or may not smell like shit.
There you
But
go.
no promises.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I've been in a lot
Yeah.
of them.
All right, Greg. Well, that's also true. You were picked top 25 of Travel and Leisure as well.
that's
So
right.
it's got to stay clean.
You know, it does, and they'll revoke that in a heartbeat too.
They
So,
will.
It's a real thing.
So
Did you get a plaque?
I feel like you should get a plaque.
You know, I would love to have a plaque, but I feel like I'll just, the permalink is going to have to do it as far as plaques go.
You know, it'll just go to his head. He'll sit in his office and look at his plaque all the
Yeah.
time, and
As well, he
Don't-
should.
don't need a plaque.
He,
Keep
he
him-
deserved it. He earned it.
he did earn it. But let's keep him humble so he still calls in.
Travel and leisure is nothing compared to the love and adoration of you guys. So let's just keep that in mind.
I'll be in tomorrow and drop $100, Greg.
I'll be in it eventually.
That's perfect.
Awesome, Greg. Thanks, man. I will see you tomorrow, and Matt will see you whenever.
I'll be back.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
You too, man. Later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Oh, it's so good hearing from Greg again.
It
I
is.
feel like we haven't had him on the newly reformatted show.
No, and it worked
Popped
out.
rebirth.
Yes.
We
wow.
also died and then came back
We didn't die.
like a phoenix.
like a phoenix.
Oh my god, my butt is so asleep.
I
can't
tried telling
feel
you guys
my
to bring
legs.
chairs. Come more comfy chairs. So, do we want to go back to news?
I'm gonna bring couch in.
Publiter.
Publiter. Here,
Publimenter.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it again.
All right, beep, beep, beep. Publimeter.
Pasada hoy e. I don't know.
What was that?
I was reading the headline. Ooh, opera.
DF con
You know I don't speak
de agua.
Spanish. In English,
60% de agua.
Oy vey.
Publimeter.
Publimeter. All right.
What's in the Publimeter today?
Let's get to it. We got our first news story. There's not really a lot of reaction to the first one, but Matt, you go first anyway because we have a format.
Yes.
A
Format.
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Number one thing that I want to bring up is some sad news.
Oh.
A stunt driver died yesterday on the set of Deadpool 2. And we do like
to laugh. I don't know why I'm laughing. Now I'm nervous laughing.
All right.
Wow.
We're just going to skip to Keith then.
You're just super awkward.
But stunt driver Joy S.J. Harris was the first African American female professional road racer. And she was a general all-around badass. And I know that she will be very, very missed.
Did it come out what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, she died
Was it
in
bad?
a very violent yet awesomely badass
Went
kind
through
of
a
way.
plate glass window, and they were doing a motorcycle stunt because she's a stunt woman for Domino, and basically they had done the stunt 4 or 5 times, and then I think the 5th time she lost control of the throttle, jumped the curb, went through a plate glass window.
I mean, I told Keith,
was
it's
just-
it's
a way to
awful,
go.
but if you're a stunt driver and you're the first badass African American female stunt driver, you got to think like that's kind of how you'd want to go.
Kind of baddest way to go.
People are gonna know
Sad
her,
that anybody has to die, but
people are gonna know her name now.
Well, I mean, and they
How many other
should.
stuntmen women do you know?
that one that was in Death Proof.
That, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there
Any-
another one?
No, that's what I know of.
Okay,
the one that was
well,
in Death Proof.
we will. That's not. Okay, moving on.
Anyway,
no,
Joy Harris.
Joy
The
Harris,
Australian woman.
rest in peace.
I know one other.
She will be missed. Badass lady boss. Okay, ready?
Yep. What you got?
All right. Matt, did you see Jessica Jones, or was that one of the ones that you did not complete and we viewed?
I did see it.
Okay.
The only one I didn't see was I did not watch the last episode of Luke Cage, and I did not watch the last half of Iron Fist.
Okay. Well,
Last half of Iron Fist you should probably see because it got better.
I'm gonna see it eventually. After Orange is the New Black, then I'll go back to the
I don't know how
to
that
the
makes
Iron
sense,
Fist.
So
well, news dropped this week that David Tennant's Kilgrave will be on the next season of Jessica Jones, and I spent the next several minutes losing my shit because that is my favorite Tennant character.
I don't remember what happened to him at the end.
You are so dead to me right now.
she snapped his neck.
He did die.
I mean,
Well, obviously he's...
No, he'll be back.
I'm guessing either some sort of flashback or some sort of mental mental.
Oh, do you think they were going to
like,
bring him back
psychosis.
as the actual Purple Man? You think he's actually going to be purple?
I don't know.
He
Maybe
was-
maybe they
was
got his
purple?
body.
He had shades of purple.
Yeah, he
Now that
he
he
kind of
can't
turned
breathe?
turned purple shades, but they've maybe they've dumped him in purple stuff to preserve his body and try to bring him back to life. And
Well,
that's what brought him back to
Elektra
life.
came back. She was Coulson dead.
Yeah, but that was the hand and mystical stuff. So I mean, yeah, possibly. I don't see why not. I'm okay with it.
I'm excited. I
Elektra
love...
died.
Yes,
you not
Elektra
finish
died. Wait,
Daredevil season
Dude,
2?
it's just I need to rewatch this stuff. I guess.
You've got 3
I
days.
gotta rewatch it.
You got 3 days. Defenders comes out on Friday.
Oh, I'm not leaving my house on Friday or Tuesday or
What?
what's after Friday?
Saturday.
Saturday. That's the
There you
one.
go.
Today's
Wow.
Tuesday.
Yes,
you
today is
having
Tuesday.
a stroke?
I live alone now.
It's nice, isn't it?
The insanity's starting to take hold.
Yeah, you're fine.
I talked to my cabinets.
What?
Have you named them?
Yes.
What are their names?
Cabby,
And
Nettie.
Originals.
Cabby and Nettie.
Yes.
Do you have cupboard and cup?
No.
Cupboardy.
No, that's ridiculous.
Pantry.
Yeah, pantry.
Pantry. That's I have
I
no
don't know
idea.
where we're
What's the
going
next-
with this.
Well,
What's the next news
I am
topic,
excited.
please?
No, let me express my excitement about I thought David
Oh,
Tennant
we're still
was
doing Kilgrave.
freaking
Okay.
I say
brilliant.
take your time on it.
as Kilgrave. He was awesome. He was well written, so I've got that too. But he and it's a really cool thing that he does. You know, like he's not all smashy crazy. Not that there's anything wrong with smashy crazy villains, but
It's terrifying.
he was terrifying because he was so real and
He was sympathetic.
he was you felt for him and
I
there
wanted
was
to be his friend.
there were so many shades of like
We are his friend. We met him.
violent relationships. Stay with me, boys. That like that you kind of identified with. Like
Yeah.
he's
It's like you mentioned with Colossal last week.
Yeah.
The abuse and the
yeah
relationships.
the abuse and the manipulation and all that stuff. Okay, does not necessarily have some evil mind control thing happening, but that's what it feels like when you're in an abusive relationship. And I thought it was poignant and apt, and the fact that Jessica Jones is just this badass made it that much, like you could take somebody like her out. I mean, it was incredible, and he did a great job in it, and it's my favorite Tennant role, even though I loved him in Doctor Who as well. But yeah, it is
And
my
Doctor
favorite. It's
I, mean, I
my
was gonna say Scrooge McDuck.
well, yeah, of course.
He's on a roll though because him and Michael Sheen are now in Neil Gaiman's new Good Omens show that's
I
coming
feel
out.
like he should be in everything.
He's
I'm
tearing
okay
it
with
up.
him and everything.
I've never seen him as the Doctor. I like him in everything else. I liked him in the Fright Night remake.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
For a movie that shouldn't have been like, I feel like Fright Night was actually a decent remake that kind of got ignored.
Yeah,
And I think
Anton
a lot of
Yelchin
it
and
was.
all them, yeah.
I think a lot of it was David Tennant carrying that movie. I
You
thought that
think?
was a
I thought it was,
really
I thought it was
smart.
Anton Yelchin. I liked him.
He was good, but I really liked. I thought that was a smart way to go with it. Because did you ever see the original Fright Night?
It's been years.
It was his role was originally Roddy McDowall was playing like a late night host, but like we don't have those anymore. So to have him as like a hack kind of
Magician or something, wasn't it? Rock star?
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like a what's his name? That's so horrible. Chris Angel. God, I hated Chris Angel.
Who?
Chris Angel.
No.
He's terrible. I hate him.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's fake. I mean, all magic's fake.
I got nothing to respond to that with. Anything else? What else we got in news?
Okay, so this weekend at the box office, Annabelle Creation took the weekend. So they won Dump Month.
Way to go.
Yeah, hooray.
Way to go, Annabelle.
I know. Annabelle won Dump Month. And well, that's what they were calling
I
it.
know, but it's funny when you say it.
Well, way to go, Annabelle. That's all I got.
I mean, it was the prequel to which movie? Annabelle? Was that the first one?
I don't
Annabelle?
know. Why are they keep
Conjuring.
doing- I
The
was
Conjuring, okay.
surprised to know that there was a sixth Mission Impossible in the works, and the only reason I know that is because Tom
Cruise?
Cruise? broke some body part. In which case,
Two bones in his ankle.
Well, that sucks for him.
At his age.
It means he can't run.
I think the
Well, then he's
what's he
unemployed.
gonna do?
I don't know.
That's all he does.
He's a good actor. He could act.
He is,
really
especially in
is.
Edge of Tomorrow.
No.
It's true.
No.
Live, die,
Listen,
repeat.
my best friend from Vegas came to visit me and brought her husband. And Alexis and I went to walk a 5K on the Saturday morning that she was here with another friend of ours. And we come back. And what is Keith and Alexis' husband? What?
Alexa just answered you.
Oh, yeah.
Whoops.
All of a sudden, there's a woman next to her. Like, who's talking?
Yeah.
Alexa.
No, you can't.
dog.
You can't say it.
Everybody's Alexas are going
No,
off.
you
Now
can't
Skynet
say
is
it.
listening to us.
Stop.
Oh,
You have to call it the Echo. Whenever
Yeah.
I talk about my
the Echo.
Whenever I talk about my
What do you think I just ordered?
Hopefully nothing.
There you go. There's confirmation.
it doesn't understand what we're trying to say to it.
But anyways, you guys came back from your 5K.
We came back from our 5K. And Keith says to me, "Do you want me to restart the movie?" And I said, "What are you watching?"
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Try to cheat.
I hate that movie exists.
The Mission Impossible movies actually get better the more they
Don't
make.
care.
Sarah talking about yeah, about Tom Cruise. She loves him.
Well, I can't
Her
wait for you to
favorite.
watch The Mummy.
Oh, God.
No, nobody ever said that. Except for when the original one came out, and then it was probably pretty exciting.
Good old Brendan Fraser
I know.
What do you think he's doing now?
doing press for the old mummy, for the current mummy.
No, he's got work. Hold on.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, he
yeah.
was in some show that's coming out soon. I
Night
think.
manager at the Arby's.
Aw.
He and he is looking quite.
He slimmed
Oh.
down a little bit. He's gotten better. Let's see here.
No, I got it.
Okay.
You got it? Okay.
Favorite Brendan Fraser movie?
Ooh. Ooh. Hold on, let's see. I'm trying to think of the ones I know. Blast from the Past, George of the Jungle, The Mummy. I guess The Mummy.
Really? The Mummy?
I mean, George
Sarah?
of the Jungle was good because it had John Cleese in it, but that was about it. It was about the only
I'm
redeeming-
amazed that you remember anything about.
He played Ape. And Leslie Mann was Ursula,
Okay.
and Thomas Hayden Church was her jerk of a husband.
Sure.
Apparently, he's been doing a lot of voice work
Good for him.
and a lot of the mummy related things.
I told you.
He was in Monkey Bone. He was in The Mummy Returns.
What's your
He was
favorite?
Dudley Do Right.
That's right. He was
yeah,
Dudley
Dudley
Do.
Do.
How does he get like two like Jay Ward?
Oh, I know. No, wait, hold on. What was it? Was it Bedazzled? No, wait. What was that one? Did
I
he,
like
garbage.
Bedazzled.
was that what was the one he did with Elizabeth Hurley? Was that,
That was
Bedazzled.
Bedazzled.
Yeah.
Look at the poster. A poster. There we go. Talking about something that people can't see.
I, mean,
Yeah.
I can pull it up on the screen for him, but I mean, let's see.
There's no
Oh.
reason.
And
He was in G.I.
Man.
Joe.
He was in Encino
Oh,
Man.
Encino Man was yeah.
I thought for sure that was going to be your pick. Was Encino
Encino
Man?
Man? I mean, it was.
Journey to the Center of the
Wasn't it a Pauly
Lin-
Shore movie?
Yeah.
I kind of have a principle thing about Pauly Shore movies.
Mine?
Airheads.
Blast from the Past. Oh, I don't know. Airheads is pretty great.
I don't know. Blast from
I
the
do
Past
love
was
it.
on HBO, and I was watching it a couple months ago.
I watched it. I probably watched it last month.
Yeah.
I like it.
Looney Tunes back in action.
That's a piece of garbage.
I think we got it on DVD somewhere.
I feel like that movie exists because somebody was like, "Hey, do you think we can do a worse movie than Space Jam?"
well, mission accomplished.
He was a voice in The Nut Job.
Yeah, that sequel just came out, or is going to. I
What's that?
think.
Gay porn?
No, it's a CGI kid cartoon with squirrels.
Let's see. Behind the Curtain of Night.
I'm hoping his theme park ride is just The Mummy. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Trust,
Revenge of the Mummy
a
in Universal
TV
Studios.
series.
He's gotten awards recently. 2006.
Condor.
He was
TV
in,
series.
Crash.
Crash. Yeah.
Yeah, forgot
Oh
about that.
yeah. He was in Crash.
That's what his agent says. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you.
Well, here's some voice work. I
I mean,
don't know.
whatever,
I
man. It
think
pays
it's-
the bills.
I really like Blast from the Past.
Yeah. it's a
I like
pretty-
anything where he's kind of dumb.
Okay, that doesn't narrow it down.
Airheads, Encino Man,
God, Encino Man was his second one.
School Ties.
I remember the name, but never saw it. No.
I don't
That's
think I
where he
was-
played a. It was just the most racist movie. He plays
Song
a
of the
Jewish
South?
character.
Oh, okay.
with-
In the army.
Oh,
Honors
I
is
remember in
garbage.
the army now.
Oh, look.
Why?
oh, God. I
Why was
remember
he
that.
in that?
It's probably like a cameo or something. Well, no, look, he's playing Link. It was
It's
his cameo from Encino Man.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Pauly Shore, you got to go to the only movie that you've made that was watchable.
Now and he was in Now and Then. That Rosie O'Donnell classic.
All right, listen. As a young girl in a very impressionable age when that movie came out, that was
95, yeah.
that's right. He was the guy that came back from war, and it was very like
Yeah, Vietnam veteran.
yeah. Do you want to do the next news thing?
Yeah,
Sure, let's keep
I
going.
thought we were just gonna do Brendan Fraser.
No,
the
we
rest
can't
of
talk about Brendan Fraser that long. Okay. Netflix woos and signs Shonda Rhimes for some reason. That made me. Well, I know what the reason is because she
it. Makes
makes
some of the biggest
hit
shows on television.
TV shows. And that made me realize that they're a player in the quest for entertainment domination, which blows my mind because they have no money.
They're $20 billion in debt.
Like,
What are they gonna do? Like, how are they ever gonna get? You can't get out of that. They're just gonna keep putting stuff out until they go bankrupt.
But like, here's the thing: like, they are so successful, and their shows are so good, and they are just
how much money do they have?
spending the negative $20 billion.
Yeah.
That's how much money they
I
have.
don't,
Their stuff is so good. I just,
I don't get it.
How do
I
you
don't want
capitalize
them
on
to
that?
up my fee, but like, how are they not making money?
You're
Yeah.
gonna pay it probably.
Well, no.
Don't tell them that.
Well, okay,
Let's
but
not tell
so
them that.
like, how does Hulu make money? They have
Well, they have ads.
ads.
They're gonna put ads in
I
it and then
don't
make us pay more for. I don't like any of this.
I don't
like where any of
I
this
don't
is
want
going.
it to happen, but shit, it worked for Hulu. I mean, I'm not saying I just don't want Netflix to die.
Can it make enough money off of subscriptions
I don't know.
to cover $20 billion?
Yeah, clearly not. I'm just saying I don't want Netflix to go away. I like their stuff. I need more of my things.
Yeah, well, no shit, you like their stuff. They just keep pumping money into the biggest and best.
I don't know. Maybe
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but clearly they're at some sort of DEF CON situation. I don't know.
Like I had,
And now,
I'd
and you know,
seen them.
Shonda Rhimes wasn't like, okay, I'll do it for $20.
No,
Like, no, you know that she cost
no,
a
it's
fortune.
like,
And it's not, and it's public knowledge that they're, that they're in debt. So
I just never thought about it till you really said 20 billion to me. I don't understand how they. I don't understand how they get out of that hole. I mean, all they have are
But-
subscriptions.
okay, but let's say it's not like they just have like $20 billion in debt, like their bank account reads negative 20 billion. It's probably a credit that they've taken out, that they've got maybe over time that they've got. It's
20 billion.
I don't know. Matt,
I don't know how
it's-
you overcome that though.
you have good projections of saying, hey, this is what we're going to be doing over the next few years, and this is how we're going to recoup this money to your creditors.
You think that there's something? Do you think they got something planned? They must have something for them. For number one, for the bank to give them that kind of credit, they must have something. I mean, this is just being reported as Netflix is in 20 billion, but for them to be 20 billion, there's no business, there's no board, there's no CEOs that will go like, hey, let's just spend $20 billion. They obviously
Right.
have some sort of plan,
Right.
probably a multi-year plan that accounts for this.
We're gonna be
That's-
talking about this in 5 years and be like, dude,
I cannot believe
they pulled themselves out of $20 billion.
that they're
with a-
making $70 billion a year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think they've just got Shonda Rhimes, who's big name. They bought Miller World. I mean, so they probably said, "Hey, look, this is what we're getting ready to get. This
Put
is
it
what
on my tab.
this is what we're going to get you with the money, and this is what we're going to do with these things that we're purchasing."
I mean, there's no okay, with the exception of that weird Adam Sandler string. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that they produce that just isn't known or doesn't take off. So maybe what they're doing is flooding the market and narrowing it down.
I feel like
Well,
feel like there's something.
But like, there's
There's a
got to be
plan.
something. But it's like you got to think. Okay, when HBO puts out something, you know that there's money behind it and thought behind it, and really good scripting, and there's like these standards that you expect from HBO. Well, do you think that's going to come true with Netflix? Because I feel like Netflix is kind of scattershot. They have a lot of really great things that people hold on to and talk to, and even if they
do.
don't love, you know that there's care in it.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of stuff that it's like, why would Netflix, like when you look at their originals, I'm going to say like half of them I never heard of and don't care about.
But I think they get a lot of them from like UK markets and some other things. And like there's a lot of Netflix originals that are clearly repurposed from like the UK.
Right.
But I don't know. I think that there's no way that they don't have some sort of a plan in place, and it's beyond me what it could be to get somebody. I think it's got to be something bigger than what we're thinking. That it's got to be bigger than subscriptions.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's got to be. But all right, last thing. You ready?
Yep.
Maybe they'll buy Disney.
Speaking
Put on
of,
the tab.
we touched on this briefly last week, but since there are a lot of viewers and fans waited on the Popped Facebook page, which is facebook.com/popshow, and on our Twitter feed, which is @popshow.
Yes.
Disney is pulling out of Netflix and starting their own platform, and for whatever, stay with me. No.
Why did we
no.
go 30? Sorry.
Are you done?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay. Disney, for whatever reason, this is where a lot of people are drawing the line, like they're putting their foot down with it. So, do you think we're going to sort of come full circle and start to entertain the idea of coming back to cable? Or, Like, I think cable has this amazing opportunity. Now, I think they'll screw the pooch the way that they did on
Yeah.
everything else they've ever done.
The trick is, and I think that the way cable could pull it off would involve having to restructure their entire business and their business model, and to offer more a la carte channels. I think that's the only way they come back. And I
Yeah.
don't know if they're willing to do that.
No, probably not. But I've got to say, though, I have noticed, and this is going to sound really weird, but on Twitter, Comcast has been pretty good lately. And I say this with caution because Comcast is not known for their customer service.
They're evil.
But, yeah, they are known for their evil, ness. But I have seen
They
so
have a
many...
PhD in it, is what I hear.
Dr. Evil.
Yeah, no, doctor, yeah. Evil PhD, yeah. So, but I have noticed on Twitter there have been a lot of Comcast promoted tweets, and I thought, this is really, and then they have all these comments, and I'm thinking, okay, so I just out of curiosity, because I'm like, let's see all these people blast Comcast, and they do, and Comcast answers them. All of them. Unless they go really off the rails with profanity or crazy.
Yeah, you
I
don't
mean,
wanna.
they say, I want to help. How can I help you? And then they sign their names for whoever's manning that particular account.
What?
They say, like if somebody says something about their service or lack thereof, they're like, we know we screwed up in the past. They took a very hands-on Domino's approach to it. Remember when Domino's did their like, hey, we fucked up.
One of the most effective
It was
campaigns ever
incredibly
to pull
effective.
pull Domino's around.
Now, I
pull
think
the hood around.
Comcast is in a bigger hole than Domino's was in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the pizza industry isn't crashing.
The pizza industry is not crashing, and
Probably doing really well.
I'm sure they are. But they've really kind of impressed me on Twitter. And I tweeted at Comcast and I said, Comcast has a long way to go earning, customer support back, but they're working really hard. Like I just said that.
Yeah.
I just said, I've noticed how hard they're working. Anyone can see how hard they're working on this. And they wrote me back. And they said, I mean, it wasn't right away because I wouldn't have a complaint, but they said, thanks for the shout out. We are working really hard. This is a priority for us.
It's interesting.
So,
I mean, they have to do something, right?
well, yeah, well,
You don't just let your
but
business
they
die.
didn't have to do something in the past.
No,
and
no,
now
you're right.
they have to.
Yeah.
It's like that thing I was saying earlier about you don't have to be the best. You just have to be the one that sucks the least.
Mm-hmm.
They now have to shoot that high because they can't say, well, we are slightly better than, DirecTV. They can't say that anymore because now that's not their competitor. Their competitor is YouTube and Hulu and streaming platforms. And that stuff doesn't even fall in the same business model or like subscription or customer service. None of that stuff is the same.
Technically, we're competing with them.
Yeah.
It's just weird. I think that television is it's in a weird spot now. It's going to be really interesting to see how this all shakes out. I feel like you've got the cable companies that are in trouble, but then you've got the cord cutters, and now I feel like exactly what I think we had this conversation a long time ago, where I was just saying that there's just too many. It's too many of these. I think we're going to hit critical mass with these. So I feel like there's a lot of
not only
weird...
will we hit critical mass in that it's not a good experience, we will get back to where our budgets were. And that was the initial huge appeal of cutting the cord, is that we went from $130 a month to $25 a month because we were going from all these channels we didn't watch with a few exceptions. We realized we could live without those exceptions because we're only paying, $25 a month for two platforms, which are essentially everything. I never got my Breadzilla's back, but whatever, So
You find a way.
Yeah, you move
You find
on.
a way.
Yeah.
And this is purely speculating on just nothing. Do you think maybe that's what Netflix has up its sleeves is aggregation?
What do you mean?
Snapping up some of these streams that are kind of just out there, pulling them under their brand. So now instead of having CBS, you have Netflix CBS. Then boom, it's coming out to you.
I don't know.
I just feel like it's something big and game changer.
Something it might be, but something.
CW had something like that with Netflix, where they, as soon as the season ended,
Yeah, they still haven't.
they were up on Netflix,
And it was fantastic. I
Something
didn't watch
though
Flash
you have to consider though. Netflix is not in the cable game yet. They're not in the internet. They don't provide internet. Now, they can't really get into that space because Google Fiber is taking over and no one's going to compete with that.
No.
Comcast is getting assaulted on all fronts. So they do not provide the best internet. They do not provide the best content. They don't provide the best prices. There's really nothing that Comcast is winning at right now. Not a daggone thing.
No.
Now, the thing that they do have winning is that they have a lot of money because they have very intelligently diversified, and Comcast owns like a creepy amount of things that we consume, whether we pay for Comcast internet and TV or not. So they've got resources that you've got to think that some of these other, now they're not going to compete with Google Fiber. If Google Fiber ever came through here, well, we don't have Comcast here anyway, but Cox would be dropped.
We don't have Comcast, but we don't have a lot of options. It's Cox everywhere, and then
Sorry.
I did it that time.
Sorry.
Oh my God, everywhere.
All
my
over.
God, all over. Just left and right and front and center and up and down, just everywhere. You can't go anywhere. Get away from Cox. Cable. Just Cox. Every household.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop.
There's satellite though too. I mean, there's Dish. There's other-
satellite, and then
there's
like,
Fios.
But Cox is by far
well,
the most popular.
Fios
Yes.
is very spotty, where Cox is everywhere.
I mean, how could you?
Cox is big. That's all I'm saying. What am I don't know what you guys are laughing at.
I don't know. It's funny.
I find cable companies hilarious.
Hilarious.
You guys don't want Cox?
No, we're good.
I got enough Cox, thank you.
Yeah.
We have a level of Cox that we like.
I feel like we're perfectly filled.
Hey, Henry, how many Cox providers do you have down
my
there
God,
in
0.
Atlanta? He came in on the tail end of this
What now?
conversation.
Our main cable and internet provider in Hampton Roads is called Cox Cable. So naturally, we took the low-hanging fruit jokes and have been giggling for the last 15 minutes.
Oh, but we're little children, so.
Well, no, but you guys have Google Fiber now, right?
In Atlanta, yeah, I believe so.
I'm jelly. As soon as I moved away, they announced they were coming to Atlanta, and I was like, well, of course they
Yeah.
did.
Well, Cox are bigger in Atlanta.
Oh, my God.
Really?
No, we moved on.
Yeah, you can't keep going with that one. You're
Henry,
done.
welcome to Popped. We haven't talked to you in a while.
Hello.
Well, no, we talked to you about
How's everyone doing? Good to hear from you.
Likewise, man.
Great. What's been on the discussion lately? What you guys been talking about?
Well, we were talking about the Disney spin out on Netflix and trying to speculate how the heck Netflix is going to make money with their massive debt and what they're going to do to get to the point where they're like in the green and killing it the way they should be rightfully killing it with their amazing content.
How Netflix should be killing it, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a big story. A lot of people can kind of believe and can tell that Netflix kind of saw this coming, even though the Disney deal has only really been in effect for like a year or so. So the day before, they went ahead and got the rights to the Mark Millar films, the Mark Millar comic books, which are like Kick-Ass and Kingsman and Wanted. So there's already made several movies of some of his work. So now Netflix has basically purchased the catalog of all the stuff he's done. There's a lot of stuff that he hasn't yet made into a film or anything. So Netflix is going to have like the first go on that, and that looks a little bit like they're sort of anticipating that with Disney pulling out of Netflix. Again, they did this the day before Disney made it official. That maybe Marvel is on its way out too, so they're like trying to hedge their bets.
Right. So
Right.
So what's happening with this Disney thing? Have you heard any like what they're going to do, how they're going to develop it? What's the next steps for them? Do you know? I mean, we know that they're gone from Netflix, but I mean, there's got to be something.
No, they're gonna be doing a Disney only streaming service, which they sort of did like an early version of a few years ago. It was like Disney Anywhere, I think, or something like that. So
kind of.
They do it with their movies. Like if I buy a Disney movie and put the code in, it'll pop up on Disney Anywhere, but I've got Disney Anywhere synced up to my iTunes, so I just go through my iTunes.
Confused.
Yeah, so they're gonna have their own streaming service. That's pretty much been like confirmed. So, of course, the thing that I heard a lot of people start to say is like, oh, wow, we'd be able to like watch all these great Disney movies, and my sort of my sort of take on it, and like glass half empty take on it, was that, well, Disney is not. They're not the kind of people who just give you everything at one time. That's kind of like the opposite of what they do.
Right, yeah, they have that whole vault thing.
So I imagine what's going to be is they're going to have 30 movies or 50 movies, and then they'll kind of rotate them out, and you'll get like a little bit here and there, but you'll never get like the whole. You'll never get the whole enchilada. You'll never get like everything Disney by any means. So
do you think it'll be more than just movies though? I mean, like I feel like if they really wanted to, make this service worth the money, throw some of the we were talking about DuckTales at the beginning of the show.
Whoa.
Throw the original DuckTales on. Throw Chip and Dale. Throw Tailspin. Throw some of the old 60s and 30s and 40s shorts.
Yeah, because none of those have really been streaming. A lot of that stuff hasn't been available. TCM has done a really great deal with Disney where they, I think it's one night a month they show some really obscure stuff like Darby O'Gill and the Little People and The Parent Trap, and, a lot of the sort of 60s live action stuff that, a lot of people growing up at the time loved, and it's sort of been kind of out of commission for a while. But I think that's probably going to go away too, and they're going to move it all that classic stuff over. Not all of it, but, at their various times they're going to rotate their classic stuff over there. And then, of course, this being Disney, though, I think they're going to really push maybe some of the stuff that's currently on Disney XD or Disney Channel, and maybe move some things over to streaming only. And there's any number of things they could do. But I think that we're looking at the early testing the waters of moving all the Marvel stuff, like the Defenders or whatever, over to this new Disney streaming service eventually. It might be a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, but yeah.
So didn't Netflix come out and say that their Marvel originals wouldn't be affected?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah,
they said that, but that's that kind of stuff is an expiration date.
Yeah.
They'll say it now and then later. Because I very distinctly remember when Disney bought the Star Wars rights, and Dark Horse Comics said, "Oh, this won't affect us at all." Mm-hmm. And Cartoon Network was like, "Oh yeah, we still got Star Wars Clone Wars. This won't affect us at all." And within a year that they lost it. So I don't really put much into that, because they're just talking about right this moment. They haven't lost it. Doesn't mean they won't lose it later.
Yeah, we'll still get the Defenders on Friday, but we might not get season 2.
Right.
Well,
it might be
DVDs,
DVDs.
but we may not see it on Netflix. But yeah, no, I think that's a slam dunk. People who love Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and they're going to tune in. And it's going to be probably the most popular of the Marvel shows. And the reviews have been pretty good. They haven't been as horrible as the Iron Fist ones anyway. They've been. I see that Rotten Tomatoes has it at 83%, and they're not. I don't think too many people are saying it's the best of the shows, but they're saying if you want to see these characters interact and it's pretty much exactly what you expected. It's probably nothing more than what you expected, but it's exactly what you expected. It's not gonna, from what I understand, it's not gonna blow anybody away, but it still is gonna be an enjoyable show.
Yeah, and I've heard they've actually kind of improved on the Iron Fist stuff too.
Yeah.
Defenders.
Someday I'll finish it.
I liked Iron Fist personally, but
yeah,
that's.
I liked it too.
I think I'm in the minority.
I don't think it deserved the hate that it got.
No. Well, hang on. We got Sarah commenting, different Sarah on the Facebook commenting. She was saying she didn't feel like Netflix needs Disney. She said there's enough pop culture excitement about like their own original series like Stranger Things and the OA, where they took the money they were paying Disney and dumped it into their own franchises. She thinks they'll do fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Netflix owns Stranger Things, and they own all the stuff they own. Like this is what it's about, and I was like owning your own stuff because it could go away at any moment. Like CBS is doing Star Trek on their own app. Everything's just getting sort of like broken up into little fiefdoms, and everybody has their own stuff.
Right.
So like sort of the idea of Netflix and Hulu being the only place you can watch things is sort of to go away.
So Henry, do you think though that we're going to hit like critical mass with these apps, and there's going to be app fatigue?
App saturation of the market?
Saturation?
Sure, that's very possible, yeah. I mean, that's where we're going. And then you also saw that David Letterman, like, I guess, got bored of not having a show, so now he has a Netflix show coming.
Yeah.
And
I think he's like taking a page out of the Share book of retirement. Just
yeah, but Larry King did the same thing though. He's like, I'm done with my show, and I'm going to come back a few years later. It's basically what he did,
and became Richard Nixon apparently.
Well, Jay Leno has like a show on about cars that like nobody can really retire anymore. They all want to get back into it.
Yeah. Well, they all need the money.
But,
no, they don't.
I wonder because his show is going to be a discussion, like a 1 hour, just kind of sit down and chat with one person for an hour, which is sort of like the old Tom Snyder and Charlie Rose type thing. But I wonder, A, is he going to keep the beard? And B, how interesting is that going to be? Because David Letterman's whole idea was the comedy actually comes first, and bringing in the guests is second. So now it's kind of flipping it where the guests are really the main attraction. So I wonder how people will take to that.
Yeah, we were actually talking about like the sort of late night, feeling of it lately. And I said, I catch my monologues on YouTube these days and don't care 2 cents about, the whole show. I catch the monologues, and I'll catch like if Fallon does a particularly great bit with a guest, but it's kind of rare that I will watch a whole late night show. So I'll be interested to see where he goes with it too. I think late night and the way they do those talk shows are changing a lot because of the digital space. So,
well, also it's sort of the format of a podcast where, I mean, you can still watch some of these podcasts on YouTube, but you can also download them. But Netflix being, Netflix, I don't know if they're going to allow people to download it on their phone, but it sounds like that would make a lot of sense to do it that way too.
Right.
The new Netflix download option has been great.
You can play the audio on your phone and listen to it. I guess that's a possibility. So you got him, and then the other big thing, this is all stuff that happened the last week. They also got Shonda Rhimes of Scandal and Grey's Anatomy fame to do a deal with Netflix to leave ABC for Netflix, which I think they'll bring her audience over, and since it's Netflix, the bar is lower for success because she's had a couple of bad shows in the last couple of years. But
do you think that was their way of getting back at Disney, since ABC is owned by Disney?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to hurt ABC. They're already the fourth place network, and they've already just kind of lost a lot of their audience. So this isn't good news for them either. So. But yeah, I presume that when Disney does their streaming, they're going to bring in ABC. So it is sort of like a tit for tat, I guess. So yeah, we'll see. The other thing that's sort of in the background is that Netflix is $20 billion in debt. And people keep wondering where they're getting all this money to like just spend like drunken sailors. And
yeah, we were we were talking about that earlier, and we were trying to figure out, they must have some plan that they're showing their creditors that, will knock this out of the park or something, because
20 years from now, we're going to make all our money back.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a long ways away.
It is. But I mean, that's kind of how they do roadway construction, but that's a whole other nerdy aspect.
Does it cost $20 billion to live?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got the hot lanes and like interstates and stuff, and they'll just be like,
calm down there,
they'll toll it, and they'll toll it for 30, 40 years, and that's how they make their money back. So,
yeah, I mean, Netflix definitely sees the long-term prospect with all this stuff. That, I mean, they apparently, they make these deals, ideas for what their programming is going to look like in 2019, 2020, 2021. Like they've already got this long-term plan figured out, I think.
Hopefully.
So we'll see. We'll see how they can compete when they've got like 50 other competitors too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see. I'll be interested to see the consumer habits with all that competition out there, especially like seeing the rates and how things change and whether or not they're ads. I mean, there's so many variables out in the and where they're available and whether you can download. The app space is definitely an interesting one.
Well, what apps do you got, Henry? What apps do you have? We'll let you go first. We'll just kind of do a round robin of what apps everyone has as far as watching their shows.
What I have access to, I got Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, HBO. Though I don't watch HBO nearly as much as a lot of other people that I probably should.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got just for last
CBS
time.
all access to.
Okay, so you do get the
A
CBS
couple
All
other
Access.
ones. I was really sad because one of my favorite ones is CISO, and it's going away, and that was the one that has all the SNL episodes, all the Monty Python, all the Kids in the Hall. It's just like a comedy nerd dream come true, and apparently that wasn't enough to get people interested. So
I had literally never heard of it until I saw that it was canceled.
No, when Henry just mentioned it, we talked about it probably about a year ago. I feel like we've talked about it before.
A lot of Facebook ads. A lot of Facebook advertising.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
We've discussed it on the show a long time ago.
They did a few original shows, and they've already moved those shows to a different app. So
gotcha.
It's only going to be around a few more months. But I have to think that NBC and Lorne Michaels and Monty Python and all the different comedy conglomerates or whatever are going to move their stuff somewhere else. We'll see.
I'm sure they'll find something. Matt, what do you have?
I have
And not just the paid ones either. Like, I mean,
PlayStation View.
Okay.
I have Hulu, Netflix, CBS Go, or CBS, whatever.
All Access. Okay.
All Access. What's some of them other ones they got? I got a lot of them. I can't think.
HBO?
HBO.
HBO?
HBO. I think that's about it.
Well, Sarah just commented. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but she said anyone who doesn't watch Game of Thrones is an alien. We're looking at
that's
three.
all of us,
yeah,
yeah.
we're looking at three aliens right here because I've seen one episode. I saw the first episode.
I started watching.
Alien like
Really?
somebody who doesn't exist on this planet? I'm just clearing up the definition of alien.
Someone not from this planet.
Not from that exists in the reality of this planet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm current on Game of Thrones.
Seriously? When did that start up? Okay, well.
Well, I watched, and then I stopped watching, and then I started watching again.
Okay.
Last season. How can you not watch?
I watched the first episode, and that's as far as I got with it.
I wanted to read the books first and then realized that was going to be a never ending.
Seriously.
So, I attempted to read the books first when it came to True Blood, and then apparently the books were not great. And I mean, they were fine, but they weren't really particularly well written. And I kind of fell off with it.
See,
And then I never started the show, and then the show went completely off the books. And
See, that's the thing. I started reading Walking Dead comics, and then I started watching the show, and then I got super bored with the show because the comics were better originally. They started out really good. I really enjoyed the comics, and
according
then,
to Greg?
well, they've been going on for 100+ issues. So,
True Blood, I got to the end. Like, I got to the last season and watched the majority of the last season. And I was like, enough, I've had enough.
I haven't seen it.
I walked away. I loved True Blood for a while.
So, Sarah, what apps do you have?
the same ones you have.
Okay, I was trying to give you some talking points, but it's fine. We have, let's see.
Mozzarella sticks.
We have
Potato wedges.
We have Netflix, Hulu, which I got commercial free after that damn Amy Schumer and Goldie Hawn.
Snatched.
It's the only way to
Yes,
have it.
that movie trailer drove me to the point of insanity, and I just paid for ad-free Hulu. We've got HBO,
Yep.
Amazon. We have the stuff you can log in through cable.
Yeah.
We don't have cable, but we have a cable account. So
A legal cable
we
account.
do have a
technically.
legal cable account, which we do pay a company for. So we
We just don't have it here at the house.
we utilize
the rental.
We utilize the apps.
You guys are
for
being
that.
super shady.
We have. Well, we're not very good at breaking the law.
One of us is
Because
not very good at
we're not because we're not breaking the law because we have a totally legitimate account.
Which one of you is good at breaking the law?
I've actually liked Apple TV because we can download those apps to tie. I mean, it's kind of tying to what she said. You know, we can download Nick, Disney XD, AMC, and so I can watch Preacher. I can watch Ninja Turtles. I can watch DuckTales.
I got all that through PSVU.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same kind of thing. And Apple TV actually has some other stuff too that you don't actually have to subscribe to, like Shout Factory. You can just watch old episodes of like the Thunderbirds, the old marionette show.
Yeah, I have to Shout Factory separately. I mean,
Yeah, Zoo Ranger, the Japanese version of Power Rangers, which is another theme
Why
song
would you
Sarah
watch
loves.
that?
Because I wanted to see the source material, and it's utterly ridiculous. Let's see.
And doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's okay.
No, it really
It
doesn't.
really shouldn't, I guess.
But you know, it is what it is. Henry, I've got one for you because I've been seeing a bunch of ads for it, and I don't know if I don't know anybody who has it, and I probably don't have enough time to honestly get it. But Boomerang, the old Hanna-Barbera, the old Looney Tunes cartoons are all on this Boomerang app, and now it's finally come to the Apple TV. It's like $5 a month. It's super tempting, although I know I won't have any time to watch it. Have you heard of it or heard anything about it?
Well, I didn't realize there was a separate app from the TV channel. So no, I've heard of it, but that sounds cool.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's an app that was originally on like the iPhone and the iPad, but now they
Because I
bumped it
know
to
that
Apple TV.
the Boomerang TV channel has now moved on to just being like reruns of Teen Titans Go. It's not. It's basically just like the poor man's Cartoon Network. There's not much difference anymore.
Okay. No, see, and that's the thing. I got to look more into it, but there's a few. It's a lot of older cartoons in this app, so.
Well, Jessica makes a good point. She says she misses True Blood, and there's all these apps are popping up, and you got to think this is a really easy slam dunk for these networks and companies who own these properties that they're not going to squeeze into reruns because that's not going to make them any money. So yeah, dump them and let people binge them. Dump them on their apps. It's like everyone made a big deal about the TGIF lineup coming to Hulu?
Yeah.
Was it Hulu or was it Netflix?
It's Hulu, yeah.
It's Hulu. It's not even all the TGIF lineup. It's like the very first TGIF lineup with like Perfect Strangers.
It's the Warner Brothers owns the rights to, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of like a slam dunk. Nostalgia is a big business these days.
Guess so.
I mean, and my mom, when I hooked her up with the app world, the first thing she did was watch Mad Men from beginning to end because she'd heard about it and hadn't seen it.
One season, got bored.
And then, but it's like a whole different type of viewer these days. Like you don't have to wait for them to check it out from Blockbuster or buy the DVDs or pay for it to stream. You just sort of find them somewhere.
People don't buy DVDs anymore?
No, nobody does but you, babe. Nobody does but you.
I'll have to say when I caught up with How I Met Your Mother, geez, probably let's see, they had 8 seasons. I think I caught up to it 5th season. I binged like the first 4 or 5 seasons on Netflix, and then I finally caught up to where they were airing it live. I was like, this is stupid. What are these commercials? This sucks. Had to watch 3 seasons of How I Met Your Mother with commercials like a peasant.
Who does that?
It's ridiculous.
The worst.
You'll never know how he met the mother.
No, we know.
Yeah.
So, Henry, what else is going on in your world?
Well, while we're on that topic, there have been some really interesting things involving Amazon. Of course, the big thing next week is going to be The Tick, which is
Yes.
it's a show briefly on Fox, but it looks you're obviously bringing it back on Amazon. And I saw the pilot, looked pretty decent, and looks like from the trailer that they have really ramped up it feels a lot. It looks a lot like they took the cartoon and put it on the screen, or the comic book and put it on the screen. And Ben Edlund has always been involved with The Tick, the creator,
helps.
so he's always had like a say in how it's portrayed. So I'm really hoping it'll be really good. It's coming out next Friday.
And they're kind of changing up how they're approaching it, because originally the cartoon and the
Yeah.
comic were literally just The Tick was there. He was physically there, and now they kind of with the pilot, because I watched the pilot I think probably 2 times. It was a lot of fun, but they kind of play with it as Arthur's mental illness, and I kind of like that new twist that they're taking on. I want to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and now, I feel like there was. I think the pilot had sort of like a Christopher Nolan sort of weird vibe to it. Like it was taken like sort of a Batman type world, and I think they dropped that a little bit and made it a little lighter from what I've seen. But we'll see.
Are we really getting Chairface? I heard we were getting Chairface. I think that's his name.
Maybe.
Okay.
Can they do that?
I saw seen a few of the villains and stuff, but no, I haven't heard specifics. But what's interesting is that we have another deal, but it was with Amazon, not Netflix, is that Robert Kirkman just cut a deal yesterday with Amazon and moved away from AMC, but he didn't just do that. He sued AMC because they have, I guess, a dispute over, I think it's a dispute over money. I had to go look it up. But
yeah, something about them and the producers
him
not
and
getting
several
money.
other people involved with The Walking Dead are suing AMC. So there's no love lost there between them.
Yeah. And AMC's not pulling
which
any
is interesting because the Frank Darabont sued AMC and I think they're still in the middle of that court case right now. So it seems like just about everyone involved with Walking Dead, except maybe the current guy running it, is suing AMC.
Oh, jeez.
Glenn Mazzara, who was the showrunner for like a few years, from season 2 to 4, something like that, he's suing them. They're saying AMC is scamming them out of profit. That's what they're saying.
Oh, lovely.
Robert Kirkman, Gillian Hurd, who I've spoken to many times. He's terrific, by the way. Glenn Mazzara and David Alpert follow Frank Darabont in suing over the blockbuster zombie series, and potential damages could reach $1 billion.
Wow.
And I guess,
Netflix money.
It's one of the most successful
Netflix
TV stories right now. But yeah, there's been talk, obviously, Frank Darabont, and there was emails showing that he was a complete jerk to his crew, by the way. But for whatever reason, Frank Darabont believed he was screwed over by MC, and now everybody else is saying that they agree. So that's going to be really interesting to watch. And in the meantime, Kirkman has taken all of his stuff, all of his future endeavors, and taken them over to Amazon the same way that Millar went over to Netflix.
So what's this going to do to the show? I mean, they've obviously shored up any kind of like rights that they need. So they're just going to keep doing The Walking Dead
Without Kirkman.
Yep. That looks like there's going to be no Kirkman involved in the show.
I lose my mind.
You know what's going to happen?
And
It's going to become Community.
I'm not sure about the rest of them, but he's not going to be involved. Obviously, if he's moving over to Amazon and all that, so that doesn't look like he's not going to be making any appearances on Talking Dead anytime soon. So
What happens if it gets better?
It's gotten super awkward, basically. So we'll see how it's going to go, because AMC, of course, would like to keep Walking Dead on for the next 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if they can milk it,
So
they
we'll
will.
see. yeah.
Jeez. All right.
Well,
what else are we going on?
Apparently, they're saying that AMC had some license fees for Mad Men and Breaking Bad, and The Walking Dead, has higher ratings, and they deserve more money. And what was it? They're supposed to be. Oh, here it is. In response to the lawsuit, AMC says these kind of lawsuits are fairly common in entertainment. They all have one thing in common: they fall success. Virtually every studio that has a successful show has been targeted litigation like this, and The Walking Dead is the #1 show for television for 5 years in a row. This is no surprise. We have enormous respect and appreciation for these plaintiffs, and will continue to work with his partner to vigorously defend this against this baseless and predictably opportunistic lawsuit.
So
yeah,
pretty
there's a lot of
boilerplate.
animosity between the parties now.
Yeah, so they're basically throwing the boilerplate language on it and covering everybody's ass, not admitting to anything, and just kind of playing it, letting it play out in court as it does.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would not be crappy.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you not watch The Founder on Netflix?
Good point.
It says
all about making
It
money.
says Kirkman has 5% of the profits from Walking Dead, and Gillian Hurd has 7.5%. So they all have, a percentage of the profits. So yeah, I'm sure all of this is going to unfold over the next probably year or so after this, with all this litigation, because I know the lawsuit with Frank Darabont's been dragging on for years and years. So
Yeah, this isn't going to get solved anytime soon.
But in the meantime, if you're looking for, I know Kirkman went over to Cinemax with Outcast, I think it was, and so some of his other stuff has ended up on other places, and now he's got an exclusive deal at Amazon for whatever comic book ideas he has that will almost certainly all get turned into TV series. So
Yeah, right?
Basically, that's the thing to do now.
That
Take
is.
comic books, take books, turn them into a TV series or movies.
That's what the cool kids do and
Yeah.
have
Mark
been doing
Miller it
for decades.
though, once you've like knocked it out of the park with The Walking Dead, it's kind of like you can't really do much for a follow up after that.
Yeah,
You're
right?
never going to see that
Yeah.
much success. So.
Which is weird because it's such kind of a boring show. I've gotten bored with it. I watched the first season, 2 seasons, and then the third season I was like, all right, I'm done. I gave it a shot. I couldn't get into it.
That's about as far as I went with it too, the first couple seasons, and then I kind of fell off of it too.
Right. So, what else is going on in TV, Henry? Because you've been writing out those Hanks on TV blogs for us.
Yeah,
and
I'm
they've been
going to do,
doing really well.
I'm gonna do a quick review of The Defenders next time,
Okay.
right as it comes out.
Awesome.
So I'm going to keep every Friday and Friday, Saturday over the weekend posting some reviews and musings about television. So I encourage everybody to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Because you've done, let's see, Z was the first one about Zelda Fitzgerald. And then
Yeah,
you
it's will be my
did.
third one. I did one on Orphan Black ending.
Yep.
So yeah.
Cool. Well, that'll be posted Saturday on Facebook.com/Pops Show for sure.
Yes, give us a follow.
So, and we'll tweet it out as well, also at Pops Show. And
Yeah, and we're right on the verge of the TV Critics Association just had their big 3-week gathering. So we're right on the cusp of the fall season. So there'll be a lot more to talk about real soon.
Oh yeah,
Sounds
it's
good.
coming up.
well, we'll have to have you back in a few weeks. Oh, Henry, I got a question for you. Since we were talking DuckTales, and I can't figure out television scheduling for the life of me, why would they air the premiere this past Saturday on August 12th, right? Well, something like that, and then not air the rest of the season starting until September 23rd? Do you have some...
Just to hype it up, just to get excitement over it, and it's up on YouTube, so they're basically like giving people a time to watch the pilot. It's actually very similar to what they're doing with Inhumans, where they're showing it in the theaters, and then it's going to be a few weeks before you see the next episode.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I guess I understand the tactic there, but yeah.
Well, I guess I'll just be stuck watching the pilot for the next month and a half.
I've waited longer for things that I was looking forward to.
That's a fair point. So, awesome.
If you haven't, those of you who haven't watched DuckTales, David Tennant as Uncle Scrooge is just having so much fun. You can tell playing that character. So
They all
if you're
are.
a fan of his. And by the way, he's just everywhere now because he's going to be back on Jessica Jones. He's going to be in the Good Omens, I think, TV series or film. I forget which one.
TV series, him and Michael Sheen.
TV series. So if you're a David Tennant fan, it's a good time to be a fan.
Yep, he's
Yeah,
killing
absolutely.
it. Good for him. He earned it. He should be in the spotlight. So,
All right, Henry. Well, where can we find you?
Outside of the blog there, I've got at Hanks TV, my Twitter account, HANKS So check me out there.
Awesome. We
All
will do
right.
that.
sounds good. Thanks for calling in, Henry. We will talk to you in a few weeks, man.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna go check it out right now.
Hanks TV.
That's right. I'm just gonna. Read
He's
his story.
good. He's always got the inside track. He knows everything.
I'm gonna go ahead and say industry insider.
He really is.
No, easily.
That's what we should call him from now on.
No question.
Industry insider.
I'm okay with that.
I know, but the lines between the industries are so blurred.
It's all the industry now.
I know it's all the industry. Everything is
Until
the industry.
Netflix takes us all over. That's what they're planning. Androids.
That's what they're planning.
You know what I wonder? I wonder what Joe Popcorn thinks about this.
No, nobody wonders what Joe Popcorn thinks.
Nobody's-
Nobody.
nobody?
You sure?
No, nobody. Not even Mrs. Popcorn or the baby Popcorns.
You sure?
Nope. But Nope.
Joe Popcorn Jr.
No.
Okay.
Joe Jr.
What about his brother Bob Popcorn?
Actually, I would like to know what the great uncle Rich Popcorn says about it. Is it great uncle Rich with us?
Rich Popcorn.
Rich Popcorn.
Died a couple
He
years ago.
died? Oh.
Died a couple years ago. You haven't been
Heat
keeping up with
exhaustion.
the Popcorn family.
Did they leave him in the
exhaustion.
microwave too long?
Oh, Sarah, I
Too
expected
soon.
more.
Too soon.
It was a couple of years ago.
But yes,
That's what happened to him.
scorched.
So we've got this weekend, we've got Defenders. The weekend after that, we've got The Tick.
Yep.
And I don't even know or care when the fall shows start back up.
I feel like the seasons have been
Because
like just kind of
I'll
blown
just
apart.
log into Hulu one day and see my shows back, and I'll be like, oh, let's watch
time to
these.
go.
Yeah.
DuckTales starts
You
September
care
23rd.
about DuckTales. I care
Good
about
Place.
This Is Us, Good Place. Trial and Error will be a spring release.
That's the other one I was trying to think of. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s coming back after Inhumans.
Don't
It's all
care.
I know. I care.
He cares. He
But
cares.
Inhumans
I don't sit there
care
and
about
say I
that.
don't care about This Is Us. Freaking cry fest with you and your tissue boxes.
I mean, sometimes
Hey.
you walk through and you're like, I thought they were dead.
hey, guess what? I don't care.
Now, do they
Yeah.
come back? Do they come
they
back from the
Coulson
dead?
dead?
Sometimes they're Coulson dead. Although they're not really like, they just show up again in like a flashback or a,
Wibbly wobbly,
like a
tiny
ghost
whiny
hand with advice.
Ghost hand. So they're
They
spirit
have
guides.
ghost hands in
Well,
this?
you know, the loved feelings of the spirits of the dead
You didn't tell
people.
me they're ghosts.
It's not just
Is it as scary as a Dan
Ghost?
Bell?
no.
As a Dan Bell
It's not.
house video?
But I do cry way like 400%
Dan Bell.
more than I cry during Dan Bell videos. There's a lot of crying in This Is Us. It's like a profound emotional breakdown every week.
Have you ever cried at a Dan Bell video?
No, I haven't. Although today I was watching one and some
So
lady
frightening.
walked by my office just, I don't know, on the way to the water fountain. And I
Was she a
bet,
ghost?
I don't think so. I feel like I've seen her
Guys are a
before.
bunch of Nancys.
in
Have you
human
seen her in
form.
a
You're
like
a
painting?
Mancy.
No, I never saw her in a painting.
Okay.
I did see her
Hand-scribbled
carved into
drawing.
an obviously haunted chalice, though.
Oh,
Do you think
that's-
that might have been it?
Did you drink from it?
Well, yeah.
You're haunted.
I mean, it was made from a human skull, so who wouldn't drink from that?
Those are the best.
Now, did you drink from the bottom of the skull or the top of the skull?
Well, first I smashed it with a hammer and peed on it.
Oh, you desecrated the chalice?
Obviously.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, this is the worst.
I might be haunted.
Because you unleashed it.
Yeah.
You know,
It
that's like
was-
the third time you've said the word unleashed to me today. It feels like that's an above average number of unleashing.
it's on his word of the day
I
calendar.
guess it is. Yeah, he peeled it over and was like, "Hey, it's
That's
August
because that's the new
15th.
service.
The word is unleashed."
That's the
Try to use it in 3 sentences
that's the
today.
new service that I signed up with through my cable provider.
Oh.
Cox Unleashed.
Would you say that that is a wide-reaching service that services many people?
I don't know.
Do you think it services more men than women?
Cox hasn't come yet?
Oh, all right. Well, you'll have to let me know how that Cox service worked out for you, and if you enjoyed it.
I just wonder if it's gonna be fast.
Well, you
This
know,
is the
one
kind of
would hope.
professionalism I get.
One would hope it would be fast.
Keith has given up. He's giving Keith face to everyone.
So, okay, that's just his face. So,
It's also valid.
okay, I have to tell you something that is a little off topic of what we normally talk about here, Pop, but it's on my mind. Kesha's new album is The Tits.
Pop culture.
Okay. My boss is trying to get me into Kesha.
It's really good.
She made me watch the Rainbow video the other day.
Okay.
And then I realized Ben Folds was playing the piano. I was like, I need to know more about this Kesha person.
All it
Katie's,
takes.
listen, she had, and I haven't verified it yet because I was listening to it while I was jogging, and then after I was jogging, I wanted to die. But I'm 90% sure that it was Dolly Parton on one of her tracks.
It's possible because she's
And let me tell
inspiration
you,
with him. Her.
Kesha was this party girl, auto-tuned, manufactured thing. And of course I loved her stuff because at the time I was a party girl manufactured thing. And then,
most
Auto tuned.
As
So
most college girls are.
well, I mean, I was like in my early 20s, my woo girl days. So then she had a track on an album I picked up at Starbucks. Wrap your brain around that. It was a compilation CD.
Sounds about right for
of-
Starbucks, actually.
No, it was a compilation CD of Bob Dylan covers. And it was called Chimes of Freedom, and it's freaking awesome. And it made me respect Kesha, and it made me respect Miley Cyrus.
What about lattes?
Nope. Still no respect for lattes.
Okay.
Because those two women
Were good?
were really
Yeah,
good.
they've
Now,
got chops.
granted, they're Bob Dylan songs, so they're very well written and incredibly well orchestrated or whatever. But Kesha's
No Nobel Peace Prize, though.
no, well, he did earn it, but he just never accepted it. I don't know. Maybe he finally did.
I don't think he ever did.
No, I think he did. We'll have to look into that later.
Okay.
Anyway, but Kesha's song was pretty much a cappella. There was a little bit, but there was no instruments accompanying her. And there's a little bit of sound in the background though, but she it was like gritty and real and raw, and I remember hearing it and thinking how beautiful and emotional it was, and then thinking like, okay, this is why they don't let her do this though, because her voice would be
Because it's good music and they can't market it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, exactly. They would have to auto-tune it. So anyway, then she drops off the map for like 15 years or something crazy, or 10 years, because
I think it
she,
was 15.
well, it was a long time, because she was, nope, that's not it.
I know, but there's a story that I'm getting ready to pull up, so just keep talking.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, she gets involved with this litigation with her producer for sexually harassing her, or
Dr. Luke.
I mean, it was bad. And it was tied up for years, and her music was essentially held hostage, and there was nothing she could do about it.
Didn't Sony take his side?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
she had,
even the judges took her side.
She had nobody. But she's getting pets.
Yeah, but her butt was right in the camera.
Well, but yeah, nobody.
Oh, geez.
no,
I thought I turned the
that-
volume down on that. Sorry.
So she was tied up for.
Jeez. Stop. Sorry,
Apparently,
computer.
Rolling Stone is not a very user-friendly
No.
website.
Continue. Sorry.
Anyway, so anyway, she finally releases this album, and I heard the first track that they let out, and I thought it was this amazing, like it was so good, right? And I'm thinking this is going to be a great album because it's actually her. You know, she was a songwriter before she was this party girl pop princess, so I know that she has chops because I heard her on that track, and I heard her. You know, I knew she had talent, and then I listened to the whole album. And it is amazing. It has such a wide range. I have not heard a range like that in ages. It has like an old honky tonk kind of feel to it. It has the old Kesha. It's got like a punk, like one track that kind of has that punk vibe going that, you know, you get from Kesha.
Punk.
But I mean, it's got a couple like country western sort of things. It's got like a kick-ass bitchy women song, like in the line of Beyonce or something, like a diva kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm listening to this and I'm thinking like, this is like, oh, it's got a kind of a fun little sing along, like Ingrid Michaelson or some sort of folky kind of song, which actually made me think of you about bringing Godzilla to the mall. You should listen to it.
Okay, I'm in. No, I'm in.
No, but I mean the lyrics are well done. It's incredibly well produced. The range is like, it feels a little like she's hurrying to prove herself in all these areas, and I don't know if she needs to, but I'm glad she did because I enjoy every track. I've been listening to it all day. I listened to it on my run. It made me want to die a little less. So yeah, Kesha, I know. Because of her dollar sign, and she brushes her teeth with a bottle of Jack.
And
Yeah.
both of those things are now gone out of her demeanor.
I mean, they're.
Do you think that was her, or do you think that she was maybe pushed
I
into
think that
because that was popular at the
I
time?
think it could be both. I mean, at some point, you know, you gotta play by the rules before you can break them, right?
Sure.
And it's
Yep.
not like
You gotta know them at least.
and there's no way she would have made her fame and her celebrity with her voice doing her songs.
Wide variety.
You know, and I wish I could say that you know, of course she could, but no, she can't.
People want personality.
They
don't
want
talent.
personality. They want, and especially labels. They want an artist that they can immediately plug into a culture that already exists. You know, they want to speak to jazz fans or folk fans or pop fans, and they gotta put that right in there. And she does not. By listening to this album, she does not fit directly into any of those because I think she does them all really well, and I think she would be selling herself short if she had stuck with that. You know, and I hate what happened to her, and I hate that she.
I mean, it's horrible.
It's horrible, but I think that this album is such a revelation for her. I really do. I really suggest you give it a listen.
I'm adding it to my Amazon list right now.
I've got
'Cause
Apple
I still
Music.
buy CDs.
Oh, that's a streaming service. I guess that's a streaming service I have. Apple Music.
Oh, I've got Spotify.
Well, now they've got shows on there now. They've got that carpool karaoke.
On Apple Music?
Or what? I think so. Isn't that how they're branding that? I think it is on Apple TV or Apple Music. Excuse me. I think they're starting to do TV shows.
Interesting.
Because Gwyneth Paltrow has some show where they're trying to she's judging apps.
She's just judging people.
Well, probably as well.
Gwyneth Paltrow. Don't even get me started about Gwyneth Paltrow. I accidentally started getting her Goop newsletter about 10 years ago when she started it. Did I say too much?
You
Did you-
started getting her Goop.
Newsletter. Was
Newsletter.
this with
For
the help of
women.
Cox?
No.
Did Cox
It was
help
a
you out
news-
getting
It
this?
was a newsletter for women. I think somebody signed me up because they thought it was funny. But then I would read it every week, and it was the most pretentious thing ever.
It was funny till you said you read it.
Well, I mean, I was getting it. It was coming to my inbox. I wonder if I still get it. I don't want to talk about this.
You know, let's talk about the things that are in my inbox right now.
Okay.
I don't think that worked out in how you planned it to work.
I don't need your opinion.
Okay.
How about we
All
talk
right,
about
let's
the
see.
how about we talk about things that make us happy? Pop champagne, you know that little thing we do at the end of the
free
show.
Subway samples. Take advantage of gas credit
Is
cards
that,
at the pump.
is that how Jared got the kids?
Every girl has a
soon?
princess's dream.
I don't think that's from Subway.
Princess.
I don't think that's
Ooh,
Subway.
Pia Sexy is waiting for me to play.
And you're
Oh, I know
married?
that person. Never mind. That's a whole other thing.
Oops. Somebody's out here.
Never mind. Apparently somebody I used to work with who has a very questionable username wants to play Yahtzee with me. So
Okay.
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee.
you lose
Right.
10 pounds in your first month.
Yahtzee in your
and
inbox.
an additional. Ooh, it's from a
How many times I've
Nutrisystem.
Yahtzeed in an inbox?
I feel like the show went off the rails. And it was
It
my
really
fault.
It did. It went off the rails.
I think it was my fault.
All right, what's making me happy? Kesha is making me happy.
Yahtzee in your inbox.
No. Stop sending me your photos. Hey, you. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Jasmine says, hey, you. Stop sending me your pictures. Thanks. All right. Well, I thought that was going to be more interesting.
Now we just think you're sending somebody named Jasmine your pics.
The other Sarah said she also likes Kesha too, and she filled the gap when Gaga left and moved on to True Artistry. So
True artist. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out the Keshas.
You really
Yeah.
do. You really do. It's really good.
Because I don't like the poppy stuff. I mean, it was catchy. It's catchy stuff, but it wasn't huge.
I felt like she and
I
I
am
like
huge.
grew up together. I really do. This is going to
Aw.
sound really ridiculous, but
This is so adorable.
I was such a woo girl, party girl, and I shook my ass and had a blast to her early stuff. I
Okay.
absolutely did. I loved it. It was when random dudes were buying me shots and I'd be out till 4 a.m. and wind up on somebody's couch. I mean, I would wake up and brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. That was my life.
it's what was there really from the night before.
Who's
well-
Jack.
Same guy who wants to play Yahtzee in the inbox.
I mean,
Keith off the rails.
so yes, that album is awesome. Listen to it.
Well,
It's-
you know what? I'm gonna do it.
You should do it.
I'm gonna do it on the way home.
Listen to
All
it.
right.
I listened to a podcast on the Haunted Mansion today, so that was over.
Kesha
So
is
I
making
can
my
watch-
champagne pop.
I can listen to some
All right, Matt.
Kesha.
What do you got?
I don't have anything as good as Kesha. It's not Orange is the New Black. My anti is champagne. Orange is the New Black.
You can't
No,
have an
you-
anti-champagne.
Oh.
That's just orange juice, and orange juice is healthy, and that's not what we're about on this show.
But if you add the champagne, then it's mimosas.
Well, you don't have any champagne to add. You're just blathering on about things you don't like. Give us something you're happy about.
I'm happy about the Defenders on Friday. I think it's gonna be a good show.
All right.
I'm stoked.
I'm looking forward to that, too.
I'm very happy that Netflix is $20 billion in the hole.
Well, they're spending their money wisely, from what it looks like. The money
Cause I
they don't have.
I think it's something amazing's gonna happen.
I
I
hope so.
Aw,
Jinx.
couple moment.
I'd say she owed me a Coke, but we owe me a Coke, but we don't drink soda. None of us drink soda on the show anymore. We all kicked the
Right,
soda habit.
Keith, why is your champagne poppin'?
DuckTales.
You.
What?
That's not how you answer that.
Woo.
There you go.
There we go. We couldn't
Better.
end the show.
I'm gonna get that as a drop now from now on too.
Do it.
A woohoo
Sarah's
drop.
woo.
Oh,
not
no,
Sarah's
me going,
woo.
you.
No, not Sarah's. So, but yeah, that's and in addition, I'm gonna have two just because I can, and we forgot to give him a drop last week. Fingers, musician out of Richmond, is giving us our music
Yeah,
now
he's
for the
pretty
show,
awesome.
and this is our favorite tune. It's the Maniac Mansion remix, and it's gonna be our intro and outro music. As you know, as soon as I can get it working here. There it is.
There it is. I got
So-
totally lost in his
Sliders.
SoundCloud. It's awesome. Check out Fingers.
Yeah.
F1
NG
NG
3RS.
RS.
Yes. fingers.
I was listening to a lot of Flanges lately.
All right, let's just get out of here.
Not the same.
No, definitely not.
Bye, guys.
All right, see y'all next week. Bye.
Don't forget to go to Pop Show.
On Facebook and Twitter.
There you go.
Yep. Bye.
I almost got